Ang muling pagkabuhay, mala Jordan no naglaro ulit pagkatapos magretiro para mag-three-peat, mala Lebron para bumalik sa Cavaliers at ibigay ang una nilang tropeyo. It feels damn good to say na finally CFSPH is back! Welcome to CFSPH Masters 2024. Kami nga pala ang inyong mga kasama ngayong araw, Sneaky Prog and Salvatore. Tatlong pasabog na best of 3 ang dala namin sa inyo ngayong araw.
Yeah, I mean, sa simula pa lang, we already have MattJess and etong MOTOMAC Gaming. Second up, we got Execration and Gaon. And last is the main event, kagaya nga ng nakita natin, PM and SGJ. I'm so excited for today, man. Finally, Masters is back on.
Men, ilang buwan natin to inantay actually. Entering into 2024, men, we were expecting what is going to be the opener for Crossfire this year. And ito na, nakuha na natin. Our prayers have been answered. But let's take a look, no? Tournament, a calendar, no? So from June 8 to June 30, magkakaroon tayo ng group stage to determine who will be the top 4 teams heading into playoffs, pre. And for sure, all of you guys nag-iisip na kayo, sino nga ba yung pwedeng pumasok doon sa playoffs na yun, guys? And don't go anywhere, malalaman nyo maya-maya kung sino nga ba ang nag-qualify sa ating Masters PH.
Yeah, of course, still quite a long season. Simula pa lang tayo dito, of course, group stage being a single round robin best of 3, playoffs being a single elimination best of 5. So no second chances dito sa playoffs natin, Salvatore. So teams have to come with their A game as soon as playoffs do come.
Yeah, man. Sobrang competitive nitong 2024 season natin ngayon, no? And take a look, group stage and playoffs for a total prize pool of 20,000 USD, almost amounting no to 100,000 pesos, no, if my math is correct. And as we take a look at the map po lang, pinakabago lang natin ngayon na pinakita nung CFS APAC Spring is the addition of Eagle Eye 2.0, which is a new breath of fresh air para sa ating mga mahihilig mag-sniper at sa mga gustong umentry nang wala man lang nire-risk. Pretty sure Eagle Eye nasa arsenal na yan ng mga teams natin ngayon.
Yeah, for sure. Nakita na natin sa Impact already kung ano yung itsura ng Eagle Eye 2.0, and it's a lot more comfortable pagdating dito sa BL side. You don't insta-die pag gusto mo mag-commit dito sa LA. There's a lot more options pagdating nga dito sa ating renewed na map. So I'm very excited to get into the swing of things, and of course we're gonna have our participating teams. We have Pacific Mac, the Execration, SGJ Reborn, MOTOMAC Gamer, MattJess, Sunday Shrooms, Gaon Gaming, and Ubek Maniac GP.
Top 3 teams from the left were the runner-ups from fall finals last year, with Pacific Mactac taking home the crown, Execration being the second runner-up, and SGJ the first runner-up. And yung 5 naman nakasunod ng SGJ, isa na lang naman yung tumuos ng open qualifiers natin, with MOTOMAC having the best of it, no, followed by MattJess. Yun, yung dalawang teams na maglalaban sa ating unang serye na best of 3, wherein a lot of eyes are centered around mga dating magkakampi, dating magkakapatid sa isang team, ngayon maglalaban na sila.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of storylines, no, leading dito sa ating top 8. Coming in from the open qualifiers pa lang, we have MattJess being that former Metacore squad, reaching top 4 dito sa CFSPH Masters last year. MOTOMAC Gamers, a mishmash of all the talents from their respective region, and this is basically their best form as is now. But we do have today's schedule, and may kita nyo kung bakit excited kami for today's matchups. We do have MOTOMAC Gaming versus MattJess, Execration versus Gaon Gaming for the 7 p.m. matchup, and the main event, Pacific Macta versus SGJ Reborn.
Oh man, Mayweather Pacquiao-esque na main event tayo ngayon, no? Sobrang lupit na magiging matchup ng PM versus SGJ, considering the history between these two teams. Palagi na lang talaga nagtutuos pagdating sa finals, and it's always been Pacific Macta. Pero sa nakita natin ng APAC Spring Pre, no, SGJ has a good shot para makita na natin ang unang pagkatalo ng Pacific Macta sa local circuit ng Crossfire, because since last year of summer qualifiers, ni isang team ang nakakuha ng panalo sa best of 3 pagkalaban nila ang Pacific Macta. We might see that now. Ang nakita ko pa lang, I think Gaon Gaming Metacore and Gaon Gaming White only took maps, hindi buong series. So having that feat alone is impressive for Pacific Macta. Pero MOTOMAC and MattJess, our primary target for now. Do you have anything to say about these two teams, bro?
Man, the history between yung MattJess and yung MOTOMAC Gaming na roster is very, very insane, of course. Going back sa sinabi ko nga kanina, MattJess being that former Metacore na roster. And of course, that experience, so reaching top 4 dito sa Masters on LAN is already impressive enough para sa kanila dito. And with such a young team para dito sa MattJess, no, having that much experience, that's gonna parang mafa-fast track yung improvement to talaga, no, papunta dito sa ating Masters, pare.
Man, ang laki ng pinagbago din ng mga rosters, no, from last year to this year. Sobrang drastic, ang laki ng pagbabago niya, and for it to have an impact sa magiging gameplay nila ngayon really tells a lot, no. Taking a look at MOTOMAC, it is a mismatch of ACX, SGJ, Gaon, and Team Random players, no. So doon pa lang, those 4 teams I mentioned were runner-ups of their own doon sa fall and summer finals, no. When you take a look at Heck and Vincent, the 2 standouts from ACX, it really tells the tale na I do think they have sort of an edge, siya plataforma na mas mataas pa kaysa sa MattJess. But adding K-Ram to the mix, man, a good amount of veteran leadership, and that one, probably the most experienced player out of this roster, no? Also the standout from SGJ. I think K-Ram, siya yung pwedeng magbigay talaga ng spark plug sa MOTOMAC that would probably put MattJess in a position na kailangan mag-stand out ni Loy, kailangan mag-step up ni A7J. But let's give you guys, no, a bit of a story. Yung kumbaga sa susubaybayan nyo sa buong CFSPH Masters, no? What impression could CFSPH Masters could give to you, no? Other than looking at the teams. Baka pwede kayong ihatid na kwento para sa amin. Pero para sa inyo, ang ibibigay namin sa inyo, ito lang naman, giants among stars. Taking a look at the multitude of players present sa graphic na to, no? You have 30, you have Revenge, you have I think a Jefferson, no? Pero
yeah, that's
looking at it, man,
as well. Yeah. There's a whole lot of players coming back dito sa Masters to prove themselves once again, and especially knowing how close some of these players are qualifying back dito sa CFS 2024. I think they're gonna be extra hungry, no, para makabalik ulit dito.
Oh man, there's so much to talk about, no, when it comes to Giants, pero isa lang ang pupasok sa isip natin pagdating na sa Giants, none other than Pacific Macta, no. So that franchise, that team alone has been dominating the whole Crossfire Philippine scene since the start of 2017, 18, no. The whole broadcast aspect of Crossfire, na lahat na documentate na natin, Pacific Macta has been that team. 2024 might be the year for Pacific Macta to start bleeding, no, kasi of their performance no Apex Spring, SGJ, or even Execration might be the shot. Yeah. Let's take a look at the team that will face off MattJess later on. We introduce to you MOTOMAC Games. And we now have MattJess, no. Parang would you say na Metacore 2.0, I guess. Pero
Mhm.
with them just retaining Frey na huling naglaro sa summer qualifiers, I think chemistry and core wise nandoon pa rin naman ang impression na MattJess is still MattJess and MattJess still is a formidable team. I'm looking forward to this young core of Loy, A7J, and Rels to actually be the ones to tread forward para sa team tulad ng matches. No, they were really really good nung fall finals last year, no, and seeing them in a new environment, tingin mo ba makaka-affect sa kanila, pre?
Yeah, I think it wouldn't affect them that much, no? I think MattJess, knowing na they've already can make it into the top 4 with their prior roster, and ngayon going into MattJess having an actual brand, no, under them, and feeling ko it's not gonna be the same pressure para sa kanila dito. It's gonna be, you know, another game that they have to play in order to get that top 4. I have been riding yung Metacore hype train since last year pa, and I was even singing their praises dun sa mismong LAN tournament, and yun nga, obviously hindi sila nakaabot sa top 3, pero they were really really close in doing so. So Metacore definitely mataas yung standard, no, para sa kanila kasi they've already almost made it. So ngayon, now they just have to make it. Problema nga lang, the Masters 2024, I think this is one of the best Masters that we have had in a while, where yung level, pwede nating sabihin, compared to 2023, is a lot higher.
Yeah, man. And binigyan pa tayo ng isang liga na susubaybayan talaga ba naman natin. I really really think na 2024 is indeed the highest echelon of competitive crossfire yet, no? And buong taon natin itong makikita, Sticky Frog, and I'm really excited for what's more to come for our local crossfire scene. As we take a look, no, ano nga ba ang piniling battlegrounds ng dalawang teams na to? I'm really excited. A team like MattJess has to pick sub-base. Good thing we get Anara for our first map, no? No surprise to that one. But sub-base will be picked here by MattJess. Like I predicted, no, it will be really beneficial for MattJess to transition to a very technical map towards a map that would really, really counter MOTOMAC's very move forward sort of playstyle. No?
Yeah, for sure. And with itong MattJess starting dito sa sub-base on that blacklist side, meaning making confident sila dito sa kanilang first half, even knowing na meron silang disadvantage pagdating nga dito sa ating second map. I think they're still pretty confident, no, knowing how good they are pagdating sa offensive side ng spectrum dito ng Crossfire, especially when you have a player like Loy being hyper aggressive, looking for openings para sa kanyang team. It really can turn the tides para dito sa MattJess na roster. Problema nga lang, feeling ko si Loy is a known entity para dito sa MOTOMAC gamers, and they're probably gonna target that specific player, no. Kailangan nilang pigilan si Loy, and then they can slowly go to the rest of his squad.
And now with MOTOMAC starting global risk, no, I will most likely give the spotlight to Kram or even Heck to hold the sides, especially the Vents angle dito sa may Anara, no. And for the most part, Kram has been sharing the entry role with Yobib nung nasa pa siya, no, nasa SGJ pa siya. And when it comes to global risk naman, he's the one that starts to really lurk, or even parang talagang util lang siya. Pero ngayong nandito na siya sa MOTOMAC, I now see him having a sort of a step back pagdating sa role. Him being this passive player really brings out the best dun sa mga ibang players. And Kram is on the right direction when it comes to decision making for his own team. So now, the question is how consistent will Kram be, knowing na hindi na iba na yung environment niya, ibang player na kalidad na tong si Heck. So it will be really really nice for them to stop Loy collectively, no, kasi Loy with a very very aggressive start, knowing na blacklist sila magsisimula, they most likely will target LA or even Vents most of the time, and not that A entrance, kasi sobrang hirap talaga ma-execute ng A entrance. Not a lot of teams really do capitalize on that one. So K-Rap and Heck really would like to give the spotlight to them pagdating sa global restart nila.
Yeah, and I think one of the main reasons why kung bakit ganun na nga yung role ni Kram dito sa ating laruan is exactly because yung resurgence dito ni X3D or D3X or whatever IGN that he wants to go with today. So him being or playing 2 times better than he did dito sa kanyang stint sa Gaon Gaming really does set the standard para dito sa side ng MOTOMAC gamers. And I am excited to see map number 1 na tayo agad, MOTOMAC gamers dito sa blacklist side, MattJess on GR, and we are already seeing yung aggression na sinasabi ko kanina galing kay Loy, pushing mid already. Frey mahulog agad, and they are trying to fight this squad immediately. Round number 1 pa lang, Salvatore, nagpipick na sila agad.
Men, ang lalim. Wala talaga nag-hold ng site and there goes MZ. Gets taken down. Meanwhile, Rels was sharing that bounty doon sa may mid na parang ang laki-laki ng mata ngayon ng MOTOMAC para lang paslangin si Rels. A good thing he had the upper position para hindi siya agad mahuli. And MOTOMAC, where were they heading? They were really just trying to have that sort of passive playstyle doon sa LA na yun eh. But nagulat sila, men, ba't biglang lumabas ang MattJess? And out of all people na dapat magpipick, si Rels pa talaga, no? And it's to my surprise na hindi pala na napilas dito si Rels. But so far, medyo naging stagnant na tayo, Sneaky Frog. It feels really good, man, na dito na ulit tayo sa Crossfire PH, man, sharing the podium with you. Now, as we head into Sub Madness here over at B, with Vincent taking down A7J, leaving the site open. Now heading into a 2v1 just like that. All boils down tuloy, men. The golden boy for MattJess. He is now forced 1v1 sa nangangalahating buhay ng ngalan na Vincent. Still threading carefully sa may hotel. I do think Vincent will not be calling in for a rotate.
Oh, pero yun lang, nahanap siya ni Loy at the end of the round. And I like yung ginagawa dito ng MattJess already. Hindi pinapabigyan ng space itong MOTOMAC sa round 1. Not letting them set up their default. Not letting them play comfortable. No? Kasi pag naging komportable na dito yung MOTOMAC, that's where they do their best work. And Loy and Rels, grabe, round number 1 pa lang, Rels going aggressive dito sa may 5 box, Loy going aggressive sa mid. That was just pure pressure galing sa side ng MattJess.
Man, MattJess, absolutely consistent. Medyo naging shaky nung mid-round, no? Pero you gotta give it to Loy. He felt the need para kumalma lang muna kasi alam niyang pag nag-overextend siya, pwede siyang ma-crossbar, pwede siyang ma-2v1 doon pag finish niya yung hotel. I really want his aggression to be at the start of the game. Pero pag post-plant na, doon na nag-excel si Loy. Pag kumakalma siya, he knows when to take his time. But for MOTOMAC, they need to tread carefully as well, no? Kasi kahit nasabihin mong safe na safe yung LA, they still have to get that sort of backup mula kay X3D or Vincent na pwede mag-start ng lurk to force someone from MattJess to go outside of the map.
Grabe. A7J already starting things off with a peek sa may vent side, taking out etong si X3D. That's a huge pick-off para sa side ng MattJess. X3D is a man that you don't want to mess with, pero may nakita na rin yung isa sa CA. Heck is gonna go down to half, pero hindi pa sure na kung papasok pa dito sa A site ang MOTOMAC as they're getting picked off one by one. Pero Rels gets punished for his aggression dito sa may CA. Pero tignan mo naman yung posisyon ng MattJess. They want to push.
And W gaming for MattJess. Di na mga maganda, no? Reds na huli na and Loy will be the next victim of the pushing MOTOMAC, no? Vincent finds Loy. That is an absolute huge pick-off para sa MOTOMAC para masimulan ng revenge tour nila para matay off ang ating serye. Actually, the round, no? 1-1. But now, 35 on the clock. MattJess still sitting pretty doon sa may bandang Vincent A with a very, very lonely A7J just starting to lurk para makita possibly no baka may mahuli si MZ. No? MZ.
MZ's full.
Hindi man na siya natablad doon, no? Pero doon sa may bandang likod, he finally gets EV and Kairam challenges spray. And there goes the barrage of shots here from MOTOMAC as they win the trade-offs. Not for long kasi nabawi kagad ni A7J forcing 1v1 with 5 seconds left on the clock. Wala nang oras ang MG para makapagtanim. MJ gets a free round once again.
And the fact na nag-peak pa dun si A7J at the very last second, risking a death, but you gotta let them know who's boss, pare. MZ in a prime position dito sa may hukay. Rinig na kung may magpo-pushback galing sa LA and natatrap na yung mga players dito sa CA at the same time. And even though namatay dun si Loy, at least they got some information kung saan possibly papunta itong MOTOMAC gamers and their intent. And 2-0 to start things off para dito sa MattJess. They have gotten 2 first moves sa first 2 rounds natin.
Man, you gotta give it to MZ, no? Hindi niya man lang naisip na hotel? Hindi, sa hukay talaga siya tumayo. And EV finally getting once again the push that he really wanted doon sa first 2 rounds na yun. Finally taking down Rels. Pero it's been like that for the first 2 rounds where Rels gets picked off. And MJ will pick up the slack with Loy getting the trade off really, really quickly. Now MOTOMAC, they need to find that adjustment para makapagtaniman lang sila ng C4. No A, no B push from anyone whatsoever because of the lack of surprising factors para sa side ng MOTOMAC. No? Hindi man lang nila ginugulat si MJ to start alert, to start a backstab, nothing. Walang nanggagaling sa RS mula sa MG. No? It's really hard for them, no, kung ganun talaga kabilis pag-rotate ang MJ.
Yeah, MJ always willing to fight as soon as may nag-presence dito sa B-side. You can already see a flank incoming dito sa my hotel. And Kratos slips by just at the right time, but he gets two people in front of him pagdating sa kanyang laban. And now it's a 2v3.
Finally.
EV might have to go aggressive here kasi kailangan niya bawasan yung numbers. Pero tingnan mo naman yung patience ni Loy. He's not just aggressive. He's also smart about his fights, waiting for his teammate na lumabas ng LA so he can also cover itong EA. This is a dangerous retake though. MJ can mess this up very easily pero MOTOMAC, they're under pressure.
Man, under 17 na lang. Sobrang komportable ngayon ng MOTOMAC. Finally, here comes an L3 from Loy as he gets Vincent and EV respectively, forcing them out of their own site. Napakadaming oras pa para mapagtimpla ng kape ang MattJess doon. What an amazing retake for MattJess, including the amount of firepower that they took from that first half. Men, how many times did MG blunder Frey and Rels overextending just so MJ could finally take back the round, man?
Napuputol kasi yung game plan nila pare. No? They were expecting that they can set up very easily pero yan na nga, naghahanap ng early fights palagi dito ang MattJess. A7J mahuhulog na agad, run and gun dito kay Frey. Mahuhulog na rin sa and Heck taking down si Loy pero Rels at MZ ang dalawang natira para dito sa MattJess and I think this might be the round that MOTOMAC can finally get unless a miracle happens pero hindi yata mangyayari yun, Salvatore.
Napakahirap na trabaho yun para kay MZ, and X3D will be putting the final nail in the coffin in this round. Finally, MG is on the board, no? Parang nakita ko lang talaga, ang naging alas lang talaga ng MG doon is the fact that Rels overextended once again para dun sa vents. I don't know why he was positioning himself there. Parang iniisip niya ata baka pwedeng pumunta ng CA ngayon si Heck probably, but Rels, oh my God! Getting that first kill early on sa round, that puts so much of an Achilles heel of a tear para sa side ng MOTOMAC para hindi sila basta-basta kagad mag-push. Also, Vincent will be taken down here with X3D now down to his last legs. Isang huli lang kay X3D. Pretty sure MJ will be starting a push.
Oh, pero X3D at Heck sumagot na rin finally. 5 bucks, medyo mainit. And nandyan na si Heck with the sniper. Nakuha na si Loy pero si A7J umakyat ng 5 bucks. But it doesn't matter. What a shot! Galing kay Heck. MZ na lang natitira and magagaling siya dito sa likod. Alam ba to ni Heck? Alam ba to ni Heck? Nasa pillar siya ng yellow. Narinig na yung footstep. Walang tumawag. No one called it! Pero sobrang layo na ni Heck. I don't think maririnig na yung single footstep. Galing dito kay MZ and MattJess, another round on the board. Eh grabe doon si Rels pare. He got punished sa vent. He just picks it again.
Man, MZ, absolute lasod para sa side ng MG, no? Siya na lang talaga mismo yung pumipigil si MG para makapag-push ng matiwasay. Isipin mo, MG, all he has to do is to just sit either at hotel para antayin lang yung MOTOMAC pumasok ng A, tsaka siya magro-rotate. The amount of trust that they put para kay MG para gawin yun, men. It takes so much para kay MG para makakuha ng successful rounds. And on the back of MZ and Rels, they have been pushing the buttons of MG so far. There goes the 1-for-1. Rels, wala nang sniper support ngayon na MJ. They now have to fight mano-a-mano pre. With Heck and Evie still lurking outside of LA, men. Their next move might probably go to hotel and force a B push. Kasi yun na lang talaga yung hinahanap nilang pagkakataon, no? With a very quick rotation for MattJess. They just need to play the retakes very smartly, man.
Yeah, MOTOMAC still trying to set up yung C4 nila nasa base kanina pero ngayon may intention na silang pumunta ng B-site. I think gusto muna nila i-take over yung hotel just in case na mayroong player na nasa loob galing sa side ng MattJess that can slip by sa second mid and provide the crossfire for the players sa loob ng site. But a very slow, methodical push. And this is an advantage na you can have pag nandito ka sa second mid, this small angle na ulo lang yung kita mo. However, I think Loy is not gonna challenge that. Alam niyang losing fight yun.
Oh, man. Mabilis ang rotation sa MattJess. Parang nakakabasa na ata sila na pwedeng pumasok kayo ng MG. Hotel is there. Sa MOTOMAC finally found an opening. Pero sapat nga ba yun para makapasok sila dito sa B? Everyone is now trying to put themselves in the better version para lang mapigilan yung isa't isa. 44 on the clock. MattJess needs to make a move. Heck takes down Frey. That is a nice opening still for MOTOMAC. Hindi pa rin nila nakikita ang site. Napipigilan pa rin sila ng MattJess. And finally, MOTOMAC found the fights that they needed. It took very, very long para masabing makuha nila yung round na yun, but it paid off really well. It's finally MOTOMAC cutting down the lead to just 2.
The longer the round goes, it's better para dito sa side ng MOTOMAC kasi nakaka-set up na sila kahit papano, spotting out these aggressive players. And every time na may mamamatay dito sa MattJess, there's also another player pushing for an advantage para sa kanilang team. And Loy was still expecting na meron pang lalabas dito sa hotel, but a really good call galing sa side ng MOTOMAC to go second mid instead, knowing na meron silang timing doon. And what an impressive game so far from both sides. MOTOMAC gusto pang bumawi dito. And MattJess, a different flavor naman pagdating sa kanilang depensa. A bit more passive dito sa A site. Not overpeaking dito sa may vent. I think they want to trap itong MattJess sa loob and rather just fight sa loob ng A site.
Man, nagbago na MJ ah. We are not seeing any aggressive pushes from vents galing kay Rels or even Loy. Ine-expect ata nilang pwedeng mag-CA na ngayon ng MOTOMAC, fake out and then go for LA once again. Ginawa na nila yun na nakaraan. Pwede nila gawin to ngayon kung sakaling mapilas ngayon si MZ. Mahalaga para kay MZ no na maghintay lang siya talaga sa may bandang B to hopefully put MG in a frenzy pag sakaling nag-entry nga sila dito. That would put them in a sandwich. Mahirapan ngayon ng MG to force a crossfire. I do think MG magkocommit na sila dito ngayon with a barrage of shots now. No utils being thrown out here by MJ. Still no counter-attack. Vincent gets taken down as A7J finally falls as well. Frey finds X3D. Kiram will be taken down. MC here with a good entry here for MOTOMAC. MattJess nowhere to be found with their defensive setups. They are getting exposed by MG and Frey. Walang-wala na sa site. This is just the inevitable para kay Frey. And MG cuts the lead to just one. What a surprise attack finally for MOTOMAC. Something new for them, no, is to play it slow. And when time comes, kaya nilang i-expose ang MJ.
Yep. I mean, great job galing sa side ng MattJess no, for delaying that much dito sa A site. However, MOTOMAC winning their due fights and hindi nila minadali ang pag-akyat dito ng top A. They know that whole area is still very vulnerable para sa mga rotations dito ng MattJess. Pero Rel's already starting things off with the initial arch fight. Natalo agad dito si Heck and that means the sniper is no longer available para sa side ng MOTOMAC. And Heck with that sniper, he's been doing in work. Meron na siyang 8 frags dito sa game natin. So MOTOMAC is gonna miss some impact here.
Man, hindi sila tatlong tao na nagsisetup sa A, no? They just rely on the crossfire doon sa A entrance. Finally, he makes his way inside of beds and ginulat ni X3D ang mundo with a huge double to open up A site. They will now be taking over as MJ will be playing in for the retake with a 3v2 still and Kiram clears out RS just like that, forcing 2v2. What can MattJess do now? Absolutely crazy offense here for MG. And bantay sa lakay lang dito ang hagdan as Loy is now down to just 1 HP. Kiram clears out MZ with a very oh my god, Loy still gets the one tap over to Kiram. My god, he's gonna do it probably in X3D. Gets the wall bang as he has the better weapon para sa wall bang na yun. Loy with the efforts, not enough. MOTOMAC ties the game.
Yep. And once again, another patience play galing sa side ng MOTOMAC gamer. There's already 2 people going in for the flank. And I like na hindi nila binaba yung C4 agad to make MattJess think na pwede pa silang pumunta ng B via RS dahil nga sa initial kill na nangyari kanina. And the mind games na nilaro ng MOTOMAC dun sa round na yon was exactly what we saw dito sa qualifiers, and they're playing the exact same way. MattJess now having to think more smartly here pagdating sa kanilang baka plays kasi MOTOMAC gumagamit sila ng utak dito.
Oh man, Loy, napilas kagad. Nicely done here by MOTOMAC. Nakakabasa na sila ng mapa na parang sobrang alam na nila yung game plan ng MattJess. No? So far, this is the first time that they will meet. Pero the bloodshed is so strong with MOTOMAC. X3D and Kiram getting a kills of their own. 3 down for MattJess. Make it 4 MZ. Finally, hindi na nalalason ang MOTOMAC as they finally found the Achilles heel of MattJess. What a finish here by EV to put MOTOMAC in the spotlight right now. What an Anara gameplay here for MOTOMAC gamers. As MattJess, man, there is no adjustment whatsoever for the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, MOTOMAC getting the lead para sa kanila dito sa laruan natin. And the first 4 rounds, we already thought na MattJess was just gonna roll over itong Anara natin. Pero MOTOMAC bumawi sila just in time dito sa kanilang BL side. And now, I have an odd feeling itong MOTOMAC would really prefer itong global risk on the second half, knowing that they're more powerful pagdating sa kanilang defense. Pero MattJess, their BL is no joke as well. Pero nandito na si X3D, nakuha na agad si Frey. MZ looking for the damage, pero maninate sila agad dito sa may TV. Pero kailangan nila bumalik agad. This is a bit too hectic for the B site.
And mas papabor na to ngayon sa MOTOMAC. Aantay lang nila talaga si MJ na I guess mag-rotate ng mabilisan. For sure, MG has like all the advantages of the world, no? Parang mas mabilis sila kung sakali magro-rotate, no? Pero ang iniisip ko ngayon, if MJ will play out hotel, tapos possibly, no, may yumanig si Vincent, baka pwede siyang mag-scout out man lang. Once they pick up Vincent, which is what they're doing right now, kasi nahuli si Vincent ng sobrang layo, men. MattJess finally finds the site. There goes the C4. Reds gets also taken down, but it's still a winnable situation para sa MG. If ever they take down MZ, who is very dangerously low, pero di yun mangyayari as MattJess finds the last two people of MOTOMAC. They took a lot of time kung ikaw si MattJess, man. Pero once again, like MG, it pays off, no? The patience for MattJess to not push entirely and wait for Vincent and X3D to overextend. That was absolutely smart for MJ.
They're tying things up dito sa game natin, and yun nga, you were right about that. They were waiting for any of the MOTOMAC gamers na mag-overextend dito sa my TV or at least go for a peek, and the two members ng MattJess making them regret that decision. And that's a classic MattJess move of going quiet for a bit and waiting for the enemy to peek into them. Pero si Loy mahuhulog na agad. Expected casualty para sa side ng MattJess, going for the opening para sa kanyang team, but a 4v5 is still very winnable para sa MattJess, knowing what happened last round.
Adjustment here for MOTOMAC. Pero nothing much for MattJess. Still relying on a possible pick-off dito sa LA. K-Ram, kailangan niya ng magrabyado dito. Oh! X3D! What a challenge by MZ. And now I do think merong iisa pa para mabawi man lang si X3D. It's going to be Vincent. Pero malalaman natin mamaya. But oh, actually Vincent will be avenging X3D, forcing this 3v2. Actually, MG will now be handing the keys to the city, men. Hayaan nga ba ng MG na itanim ng MJ ang C4 dito sa B and then play the retake, or MJ will face them mano-i-mano doon sa loob ng A, pero K-Ram doesn't know his place. Doon kay Frey, and Rails also picks off Vincent as the situation turns around para sa MG. MJ is now on the brink of winning this round. Aantayin lang nilang pumasok dito si EV para mahuli siya. EV trying his best para lang paghiwalayin si Frey at si Rails, pero nga double pick advantage galing sa side ng MattJess, and they don't even need to pick EV. They just need to wall bang him. And what a round for MattJess. That would have been winnable for MG.
Yeah, and that's what I've been telling you, man. Kahit sa mga 4v5s, malaking threat pa rin dito yung MattJess. Kahit mahulog dito si Lloyd, the entry, it's kind of like hot potato para sa side ng MattJess na nagpapasahan lang sila kung sino yung mauuna papasok ng site. Pag namatay si Lloyd, you get Frey. Pag namatay si Frey, you get MZ. And there's so many options para sa side ng MattJess at the moment. Pero speaking of options, there is the sniper option as well para dito kay Heck. Nakakuha na ng tatlo. Meron pang isang tao sa LA na nagtatago sa Miniter. And kahit yun, mamamatay rin. And Heck is tired of his team getting dominated. Siya naman yung magdo-dominate ngayon. And the last player, A7J, gonna deny that flawless round. Makukuha na dito si EV, pero spotted na siya agad. I think X3D is gonna go and give chase. And gonna get that last kill. 6-6. Grabe, palapit ng palapit yung ating score. Parang sinabi ko nga kanina, this is gonna be one of our closer series dito sa araw natin, pare.
My God, Heck. Huge 4K, man. Isipin mo, no, all Heck has to do is stand. Aantayin niya lang talaga yung aggression ng MJ na luminya sa kanyang AWM, pre. And absolutely crazy para sa side ng MJ na i-challenge si Heck. Pre, he was 3-for-3 for that one. 1-for-1 so far here for MG and MG. MJ and MG, actually, no. Pero EV will now be finding ways para magbago ng pwesto na ngayon, kasi every time he wants to go to LA, he is getting picked off easily, man. He really wants to be the poison para sa MattJess. Pero hindi na talaga gumagana. MZ was doing that on the past round. Parang na-jelly ata sa playstyle si EV, si MZ. And now finally, he found K-Ram. MOTOMAC, medyo alanganing pwestuhan na kasi nga X3D nangangalahati na nga yung buhay. Pero there is still no rotation here for the defenders of MG. Tingnan mo nga naman pre, MattJess finally makes their way into the side pero still no threat here. Finally, C4 planted, trying to take his chances. Heck gets the wall bang here. Amazing shots here for Heck. Pero all they have to wait on is Rels. Kung ipipick nga ba to ni Rels, that is a huge question. Pero Crossfire is now set up. Really nicely. Pero naging 1v1. Hindi maganda yung timing. The timing was not good for MattJess. Ang ganda na ng Crossfire. Kaso hindi pumick kagad. And MOTOMAC will be taking that round na parang napakadali para sa kanila.
Tama naman yung ginawa dun ng MattJess. In all honesty, Rels being the second contact and yung first contact yung nasa loob ng site para ma-expose yung player na papasok out in the open. Pero Heck, a bit too good for his own good dito pare MZ. X3D magkakapalitan ng bala dito. Vincent at si Heck makakita na rin ng dalawa dito. And suddenly, it's a 3v4. MOTOMAC gamers with the advantage pagdating sa bilang. Pero alam mo naman, MattJess man, always so dangerous kahit ano mangyari. And what is gonna be the game plan para dito sa MattJess? Mukhang gusto nilang pumunta ng A. And MOTOMAC medyo mas prioritize nila yung B side at the moment as Cram mahuhulog siya dito.
Okay. Parang yung habang muli dito, parang somehow naging chess na yung labanan sa round na to. Hindi ko alam kung dahil napapalapit na tayo sa prime round ng game number 1 or hinahayaan na lang talaga ng MattJess na sige, hayaan na lang natin ang MOTOMAC na mag-lurk. Hayaan na lang natin na yung MOTOMAC yung magdikta ng laro natin. Kung kaya naman natin mag-adjust sa game style nila, pwede naman. Pero take a look at MattJess man. They are really parang inuubos lang talaga nila yung time dito in hopes of Vincent and Evie overextending once again. Ang lala ng copium ng MattJess pero you gotta give it to them the patience for them to still get that narrative na parang mangyayari at mangyayari. It really feels like MattJess have now finally founded something that they could look forward to. Pero gaya nga ng mga nangyayari ng past rounds, hindi yun yung mga nangyayari. Somehow, MOTOMAC is also patient with their playstyle. Open entry here for MattJess with the thrown util here by MOTOMAC. There goes the C4 plant. And this is going to be really deadly kung di nila mapapila si Heck dito. He is really sitting pretty sa possible crossfire na pwedeng maset na MOTOMAC.
Yeah, for sure. Pero ito na nga papasok na ang MOTOMAC gamers for the retake. Heck at Evie nakakuha na ng dalawa agad. Si Rels na lang natitira. The sniper for the side of MattJess. And nasa taas ang C4, not even planted para dito sa vent. So he's gonna have to peek it anyways. Namatay si Heck. But can he get the 1 HP? Vincent mukhang hindi. The delay was enough for the defuse to come. And another round for the side of MOTOMAC gamers. And I mean, pagdating talaga sa late game, when you have the more robust game plan, it seems like MOTOMAC, they might just take over dito sa Anara. Pero MattJess, they need to get this round desperately para mapaikot ulit yung laro.
Men, MOTOMAC really has the knack, men. Heck, sige pa, isa pa men, hindi pa sapat sa'yo yung isa lang. Pwede mo gawin. Heck, with 23 kills under his contract, masasabi mo talaga na Heck has been doing a fantastic job securing every single round para sa side ng MOTOMAC. If hindi siya nakakuha ng pick-off, it just means na MattJess really adjusted. Nagawa nilang lumipat ng ibang site for Heck to force a rotate and then let Rels go for the lurk to hopefully take down the sniper of MOTOMAC. And dahil nga, pinipilit pa rin talaga nilang pumunta ng LA to get some scouting information, gugulatin lang talaga sila ni Heck. And there is no sort of stopping Heck. Kung patuloy talaga lang siya makaka-pick off, tataas ang kumpiyansa ni Heck dito. Wow. With another one for MOTOMAC gamers. A7J gets taken down with a nice trade here by Loy. But then again, they still have to work the 2v4. MattJess needs to find an opening to at least B, which is heavily open kung sakaling pupuntahan doon ni either Rels or Loy. But I do think Rels needs to just wait sa kanyang flank and then let Loy plant the C4 itself. Pero with the enough information for MOTOMAC, they just have to play the time.
Yeah, they know exactly kung nasaan dito si Loy na nasa mapa. Oh, no. He still gets the kill. Dito kay EV, X3D packet na dito sa uluhan ng second mid, and that he does get the kill kay Loy, finally taken down. And Rels na lang natitira dito sa mapa natin. C4 nasa kamay ng MOTOMAC na nasa loob ng hotel, and they're fully aware of it. They are just gonna stack hotel again and again and again. Heck looking for the kill dito sa mid, challenging si Rels. Sniper versus sniper action. 30 seconds na lang natitira. Wala ng oras para gumawa gumawa dito. Si Rels, he has to make a decision. Cram finally goes down. X3D might be up next pero hindi yun ang mangyayari. Headshot agad galing kay X3D. 3 rounds in a row galing dito sa MOTOMAC, Salvatore.
And kulang-kulang yung resources na MJ. Hindi na nakukuha yung trades. Hindi pa sila nananalo sa 1v1. So, saan sila umasa? The fact that Rels will be starting the Lurkmen. Ayun na nga naman, Hick is doing so much of God's work para sa side ng MOTOMAC Gamers, pre. Kung gusto mo ng reliable player, have Heck on your roster. Another one para kay X3D and K-Ram as a MOTOMAC is 1 round away para dalhin tayo sa sub-base maya Rels and Loy. No man's land, Heck cannot be stopped, cannot be moved, cannot be rocked. MOTOMAC is on a tear, pero Rels pipigilan muna ang paghasik ng dilem ni Heck. Finally, some glimmer of hope para kay Rels, pero alam mong napakahirap itrabaho nito kung una hindi mo alam kung nasaan yung C4 at 3 pa yung nakabantay sa LA. This is a huge challenge for Rels as he's now picking out here, and there goes, he finds Vincent and the crossfire is absolutely nice. MOTOMAC Gamers, the first win of our kickoffs, and what a way to show the team some notice.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was a heck game. If I've ever seen one, pare, 24 plus frags para dito kay Heck, attacking itong A-long, attacking itong mid with the sniper, making sure na Rels knows that he is the superior sniper dito sa mapa ng Ankara. And grabe, that was just a Heck masterclass pagdating ng second half natin dito. First half, medyo back and forth pa kasi MattJess nakakahanap sila ng mga butas dito sa opensa ng ating MOTOMAC Gamers. They were slow to set up pagdating dito sa BL side, pero kagaya nga na sinabi ko sa start ng half, judging from yung style dito ng MOTOMAC Gamers, they would prefer itong GR catching these players off guard. A lot of individual plays nangyari dito sa mapa natin with MZ looking for a play, Loy looking for a play. Pero nung naging aware na yung MOTOMAC Gamers na ganun yung nga yung mangyayari pagkalaban yung MattJess, they just adjusted accordingly. They were waiting dito sa mga players, kagaya ni Loy, kagaya ni MZ na pumasok sa kanilang crosshairs, and it was all she wrote, pare.
Man, it took a lot of questionable and throws para sa MOTOMAC para malaman nila yung gamay talaga ni Loy and Rels. Rels really was targeting so much of the front line ng MOTOMAC. And kung idadagdag mo pa si MC talaga na nagpapakalason dun sa lineup na gustong gawing plays ng MOTOMAC, it was really hard for MOTOMAC to get a good amount of momentum dun sa first half na yun. Nung lumipat na sila, it was all she wrote nga, gaya nga nasabi mo. Nagulat na lang talaga ako na Heck was fully activated and there was no stopping him. Not even Rels, yung kanyang kakuntsaba pagdating sa sniper, man. I was so surprised na out of all the players na pwedeng pigilan si Heck, wala dun ni isa sa players ng MattJess. As we take a look at the highlights, we call it highlights, I call it highlights. Pero we have so much of a props para ibigay kay Vincent and XPD, man. I really wish we could have seen so much for Vincent, pero the amount of baits that he took para lang mag-sign si X3D and even K-Rab was good enough for him to be that one solid player para sa side ng MOTOMAC, and I'm looking forward to this new version of MOTOMAC pagdating natin sa sub-base maya't maya. Pero it is so much of a new environment nga, gaya nga nasabi ko kanina, for Rels to play at a pace like this. Parang naninibago pa sila sa playstyle ngayon.
Yeah, for sure. MOTOMAC, I wouldn't say they're the complete opposite, no? Dito na MattJess, they love to go aggressive as well from time to time. Kagaya na nakikita natin galing dito kay Heck. And I did mention kanina, X3D, we did say K-Ram having to play a bit more passively ngayon since meron ng X3D na naandito sa team going for the entries para dito sa side ng MOTOMAC, and we did see that double kill papasok dito ng A side. X3D is capable of doing it para sa kanyang team, and this is very nice to see galing sa side ng MOTOMAC, and this is big momentum to start things off, and nakuha nila yung sarili nilang map pick, which is itong Ankara, but still it was a good contest galing sa side ng MattJess by the time na nakapunta na tayo ng second half, them only getting 1 round and the rest being MOTOMAC. Feeling ko they've got MattJess red at the end of the day.
And ginawa ba namang Nibbles Dragon FFA yung grease ni Heck, yung buong Ankara map na yun, men. Isipin mo, there was no stopping Heck kahit saan pa siya pumunta. He wanted to go B, he would just go for hotel, or even mid. He wanted to go A, he just has to pick at A entrance. Yun lang ang kaya niyang gawin, pre. And the fact that it went for a solid 3 rounds bago nila maisip na ayaw na namin mag-pick sa A, nung pumunta naman sila na B, doon din sila nahuli. So, that tells a lot if you're a player like Heck, and if you are MattJess, you need to go back to the drawing board, pre, kasi kung binabato mo si Reds, pag binabato mo si Loy para lang pigilan si Heck, ano pa kaya dun sa mga ibang sides na pwedeng mag-start ng counter-attack or ng counter-push ang MOTOMAC, no? So, really, MOTOMAC really check all the boxes pagdating sa solid na playstyle dito sa Ankara. But now, a different environment as we go to sub-base later on. Probably we will now see Rels be prominent dun sa mga entries. We'll now see Loy be the one to step up probably. But the thing is, if Kram really does so much of the calling, I really do think na pwedeng isweep to ng MOTOMAC, or if MOTOMAC doesn't have that sort of elevation sa playstyle nila doon sa Ankara, if they still remain passive, if they still use the time to their favor, baka pwedeng i-punish na yun ni MattJess.
Yeah, for sure. I think it really rides upon yung first half dito ng MattJess, no? Papunta nga tayo dito sa sub-base. Them starting on Blacklist could actually really mess up yung kanilang play, knowing yung MOTOMAC, they're gonna have the advantage dito sa start ng game being on GR. And obviously, nakita natin dito sa Ankara, MOTOMAC does prefer that GR a lot more than yung BL. So a lot more planned pagdating sa kanilang laruan, pagdating nga dito sa depensa. And MattJess has to give us an impressive BL to start things off. Kasi pag hindi nila nakuha yon, if they barely get any momentum galing dito sa first half ng sub-base, and nakita na natin yung pwedeng mangyari with Heck riding the momentum galing sa kanyang sniper, that can mean na middle can be a struggle to control. Especially itong second mid rather, the initial fight na makikita natin dito sa Woods, that could turn the tides between yung dalawang teams natin. So, ayun nga, the pressure is on MattJess para mag-perform dito. They're one map down, plus nandito pa sila sa sub-base in the less favorable side considering pick nila to.
And sa nakita ko talaga last year, no, parang the Metacore squad of Rels and A7J really likes the control room for all the good reasons rather, no. Doon ko siguro makikita kung are they still retaining the same attitude, yung kung nandun pa rin ba yung playstyle na makikita natin galing sa kanila, no. With them starting possibly Blacklist, I do think na pwede nilang pigilan dito si Heck if ever na doon siya sa Woods magpipick. We all know how open and wide it is for them to throw all the utils and hope for something to get probably a popcorn, a flash, and then an entry from MOTOMAC. Pero basta, wag lang talaga nilang hanapin si Heck. Yun lang talaga yung nakikita kong playstyle. Do not line up sa sniper ni Heck. Find an opening from the other side. If there is a need to rotate, go rotate. If there is a need to start alert, go alert. Or even probably play slow, go for a fake, and then hope for the best to get the site. Kasi pag nakuha na nila yung site, ang hirap mag-entry ng global risk because ang layo pa ng pag-rotatean nila. If they still have enough utils, they could force it. They could force smoke, they could force flash. Hindi kagad makakapasok yung si Kram or even someone like X3D, which is two solid players that really has a knack for entering. So if you are MattJess, take into consideration how many utils you're supposed to throw early. And then, pagdating naman ng post-plant, how many are you going to save?
Yeah, for sure. And I think yung kailangan nang isipin dito ng MOTOMAC, no, that MattJess is still gonna be very active pagdating sa kanilang mga fights dito. They're not gonna turn down their aggression anytime soon kasi that's not their style pagdating sa mga mapa natin, and especially in a map like Subbase. Slowly, Subbase has become one of my favorite maps, no, kasi ito yung very closed map, not much lineups that you can do, very limited, and yung pinaka magpapapanalo sa'yo dito sa Subbase is the way you play the map, the way you get map control, and kung paano kayo mag-work as a team. Especially pag retake dito sa A side, you can't just go, hindi kayo pwedeng 5 tao na nasa sikip and you can just, get into missile for free. Siyempre, alam na yan ng mga teams natin how to guard that very well. So, ang dami talagang pwedeng gawin dito yung MOTOMAC gamers is they have a lot of options pagdating sa kanilang defense to start things off. However, MattJess, it's gonna be pressure on dito kay Loy to provide the entries para sa kanyang team. It's a pressure as well para dito kay MC at kay Frey. Just in case na mawala dito si Loy, no? Kasi for sure mamamatay si Loy in some of these rounds very fast kasi ganun talaga yung kanyang playstyle. He's hyper-aggressive, he's looking for the opening, and if Frey and itong si MZ can save yung mga ibang rounds dito ng MattJess, then definitely Subbase could go back their way. So, yeah, a lot of pressure para dito sa side ng MattJess. So, it's not really an unfamiliar na territory para dito sa MattJess to be under pressure, no, kasi they've already been in multiple situations na down na sila 0-1. You would expect a team to be mentally distraught pagdating sa series natin, but I've seen comebacks from this specific roster, so hopefully they keep it locked in, no, para dito sa map number 2.
Siguro focus lang if you are MattJess, try to be linear doon sa mga well, if you keep it simple, if you keep it linear doon sa pagbabato ng utils, probably you can save some enough para doon sa post plant. Pero if you're MOTOMAC, you know that you have the advantage. It is indeed a global risk sided map. There's so much to look for doon sa mga entry ng MOTOMAC. But I do think
Mm.
na MattJess has something in store if ever they put MOTOMAC, like let's say, if they expose Vincent or even Heck, napakalaki nun para sa side ng MattJess, no? Kasi it will be so much easier for Rels to snipe in post plants, or let Loy be the one to push MOTOMAC if ever he gets mad, magagalit siya, men, bigla na lang siya mag-overextend. It's possible, nangyari na yun nung Ankara, pero pwede mangyari yun with a very, very early flash here at Woods as MZ gets blinded, Hiram gets him down, Loy finds X3D, 1-for-1 so far, and Heck was holding the site na parang buhay yung nakataya doon. Oh my God. Vincent also gets taken down, forcing 3v3. Still, feeling ko wala pa rin kamuwang-muwang ang MattJess kung nasaan ngayon ang MOTOMAC, kung nag-rotate nga sila, kung nag-commit ba sila dito sa Woods. Pero nice set of kills for both teams.
For sure. Parang ini-expect yata na MOTOMAC na MattJess would be holding some aggressive angles dito sa mapa natin. And that's gonna be good news para sa kanila dito. Pero yun lang, A7J and Frey getting si Heck at si Kram, and that is EV taken down. Mukhang MOTOMAC, they're still in the process of choosing which site, kung anong gusto nilang gawin doon, and in the middle of thinking, MattJess was there to strike. And ang ganda na sana ng first round na yun para sa side ng MOTOMAC. They already got Woods control, pero because of their usual style, nag-slow down sila ng onte, and that allowed itong MattJess to adjust.
And I don't know, man, the hesitation for them to commit Woods parang very questionable eh. Kung nahuli na nga,
Why would you hesitate, man?
kung nahuli na nila si A7J, kung nahuli na nila si Loy, what stopped them? And nakakagulat for MOTOMAC, man. So now,
Oh my God.
good shot from Heck, man. It was so surprising na A7J lost that, and MZ finds X3D as well. So far, nakukuha na ng MattJess yung galaw talaga na we should win the 1-for-1s, or at least get the 1v1s instead. Pero so far, kailangan pa rin talaga respetuhin na MJ na may mas maraming tao pa rin ng MOTOMAC. So, yeah.
Oh, pero EV, Kram, that's already 2 good kills para sa kanila dito, and A site is wide open. Frey na lang natitira. I don't think he can really do that much. Si Heck na lang ang papatapos ng round natin dito, and Heck with 3 kills, 2 of them on the pistol. Napaka-impressive talaga. This man has not waned at all. Yung time niya sa Pacific War, he's still playing the exact same level, pare.
Okay, X3D. Okay, parang nakahanap talaga ng
Oh
MG.
my God.
What is this round? Daanan lang talaga ng MOTOMAC. Finally, Rels gets a pick off. Di siya makakuha ng pangalawa. Sobrang kumilis ni X3D. That would have been a good re-challenge. Rels to be the last man standing. Ganun lang, win na lang yan ng MOTOMAC yung depensa ng MattJess doon sa control room for them to access stackers early on. Di pa tayo umaabot ng 1 minute and 30 seconds pre. MOTOMAC found an opening, and they finally committed. Yun ata yung pwede nilang gawin dito with an early 1-for-1 with Rels and Heck trading sniper shots. What a surprise for MG once again.
Yep, MJ trying to ride the momentum galing dito sa first round natin, and I think they tried to cancel siguro yung rhythm dito ng MOTOMAC by trying to push into yung MR natin. Pero yun na nga, kill after kill after kill. Heck at Vincent getting 2, pero dalawa rin ang nakuha dito ng MattJess. Heck kitang-kita dito sa may vents area natin, and he still gets itong si Rels. How is that possible, pare? Nakatingin na dun si Rels, pero si Heck pa rin nanalo.
Man, only Heck can answer our questions pre. Si Heck lang ang may kakayahan para gumawa ng mga ganong klaseng bagay. Finally, an opening here for MOTOMAC to force a plant. Frey, you have the possible chance para makuha tong round na to. Hiwalay si EV pati si Heck. And there's still no match for Heck, man. He is having the time of his life, man. Araw niya talaga yung June 8, 2024, Sabado ng hapon, man. Oras niya to. There's no stopping Heck once again. MOTOMAC, kung gumagana, bakit namin ipipigilan? Control room action once again for MOTOMAC to separate probably EV for the rest of the squad. Possibly force crossfire. There goes the smokes. Waiting for the entry still. And this is a nice default here for MOTOMAC to possibly start a flank over dun to jail. But now, Frey fighting for his life. Nakatakas siya, buti na nga lang. And they now made their way inside of sight with Evie and Hex still banking on the door. Now, they made their way topside. Still waiting, and there it goes.
Oh my
The
God.
waiting has now paid off for MOTOMAC gamers. Pero napapalitan kagad ni A7J with a huge double kill. MZ takes down Kram with a pushing MG. Finally, MJ found the opening para mapigilan yun. But take a look at the backside. There goes Heck.
Oh.
Pero nandun din si A7J. Hindi niya pa rin nakikita kung nasaan si Heck. Still, healthy pa rin
Both
si
low.
Heck. But now, the top side, switching to the Colt. Dito matama, A7J is one hit away. Both low.
Bala.
But there's no gun advantage that would stop Heck. A7J finally gets the switch of a weapon. MattJess, a very, very flirty round para sa kanila. May napakagulo nun. But still, MattJess will be taking down the round.
Yeah, and it just so happened na yung MattJess nakatambay dito sa may second mid natin. So they were quick on the rotate, pabalik dito ng B side. And MG having to fight a 4-man force sa loob ng B, and that is never good news kung kayo ang nasa side ng MG. Pero Lloyd, nakuha na rin si Cram na nasa loob dito ng vent. But is that gonna give a false sense of security? Pero hindi pala, MG is just gonna get Vincent. Meron pa rin tao sa loob ng vent. And that is si Heck. Grabe naman yun. And they're still checking vent just in case. Alam nila na yung MOTOMAC, they love to go for this double vent play. Pero ubos na ang numbers dito ng MOTOMAC, pare. I do not think this is gonna be a winning round unless X3D kaya na makakuha ng 2 or 3. Look at where they're stuck at. RS even gets bombed. Yun lang.
Man.
Si Heck na lang natitira and he's in vent.
Hindi ko na lang alam kung paano pa ito tatawid ni Heckman.
Ooh.
Oh, he's still fighting. Nakakuha niya pa talaga yung isa. But one is not enough. Finally, MattJess. Siguro, this is indeed their first half. Nakikita natin na MOTOMAC is fighting, but MJ is fighting even harder. The trades off are really, really nice kung ikaw ang MattJess. Ine-expect mo talaga for someone like Vincent to overextend. And they are getting punished for it. MZ with the defense of his life, stopping the possible Woods push of MOTOMAC gamers. Good double para sa kanya. And there is so much to look for if you are now MattJess as you just wait for the overextension of Vincent.
Yeah, kumuha sila ng control dito sa MR and they realized super early na hindi pala B ang target dito na MattJess. Instead, it is A side, so they just pour numbers dito sa may Woods instead. Pero EV punishing an aggressive low. Yung C4 nakababa dito sa Woods door. Pero naghahanap pa ng iba dito si Vincent. If he can get the kill dito sa passage, then that will result in a 2v3 and pwede mag-slow down yung MG para mag-separate yung dalawang players. But instead, papasok na lang sila dito sa A side. Oh my God, but they're still pulling back pa rin. Nagda-doubt pa sila.
Okay. Kalmado kolekto pa rin. Still an even matchup. Pero if MOTOMAC will contest this without the need of trading anyone, makuha lang nila si Rails, it would be good for MOTOMAC. They have now pushed Rails into control room. And now, oh my God, what a shot over to Heck! And Frey gets taken down as well. Still 2v2. Rails from Woods will be making his way towards the site. Pero magandang separation ngayon. Isa galing sa control, isa galing sa Woods. Kaso, EV caught lacking. Reds will now be starting the crossfire, pero sasama niya pa rin si A7J. Antay pa rin the line. There it goes, Vincent. Hindi niya nakita kung saan patungo si Reds, and that opening was so nice for MattJess. Absolutely beautiful.
Nag-tunnel vision sila dito sa may CR natin, pare. Oh no. Both of them were looking up top. Instead, meron na palang naka-flank dito galing sa side ng MattJess. Rels with the perfect timing, catching a MOTOMAC gamer out in the open, pare, dito sa A site. And that was just all she wrote. Si Vincent mag-isa na lang. And MattJess, back and forth actually, I'd argue dito sa subbase is actually really bad para sa side ng MattJess, considering sila pa ang may advantage dito sa start ng ating half. Pero MG, ano na namang niluluto nyo dito? Nasa loob kayo ng MR, looking for the eventual push papuntang LR, but they can actually pull back even though meron silang LR control para ma-mind games dito ang MJ.
Okay. Very, very passive here for MattJess. Wala silang challenge dito, which is very, very smart. Hayaan nyo na muna sigurong makapasok ang MOTOMAC. And then hope for the best na pwede kayo pumunta na mid. Head to machine room. Go for the flank. And then bodies will be everywhere para sa MOTOMAC. It's the only plan here for MattJess kung hindi nila papabayaan yung pwesto na dito sa may jail. Because that is their only defense para masabing, okay, there is still a chance for MOTOMAC to plant, but still, the defense will be good for MattJess nonetheless. So, with now them expecting na pwedeng bumira dito ang MG, either from machine, head to mid, go for woods, hope for the best. Pero the util usage so far for MG, not the best. Kasi wala pa talagang nag-choke out dito si A7J. There is no tunnel vision here for MattJess, and there goes the barrage of shot. Rels and Frey will be getting the kills of their own, stopping down MG, pero lumalaban pa rin sila with this 2v2. Absolutely huge for MattJess with a life advantage towards them. Finally, Heck gets taken down. X3D, last man standing. MattJess is absolutely doing flawless, pero lumalaban pa rin. X3D, oh my god, you absolute beauty. Pero labanan talaga ng Colt dito. Rels with an absolute nail-biting finish. Over to that pistol versus pistol. X3D would have made so much viewers for that clip alone. Pero MJ was like, nah, you will not have that spotlight, man.
Oh, pero Heck already starting things off dito sa round natin with the kill dito kay Loy. You know, classic Loy moment, in all honesty pare, pero you gotta get what you gotta get dito sa mapa natin, and that man needed map control. MC nakapatong dito sa box. He does have that angle papasok ng luwag dito, and one proper flash would actually flush him out dito sa angle na to, and I like what X3D is doing. He's riding yung left side wall kasi hindi yan kita ng box player, and if the box player overextends, that could be a dead man. MC harap-harapan na dito sa kanyang kalaban. X3D gets the kill. A site could be wide open, pero nandito pa si A7J sa may CR, raining down bullets kay X3D, at bumalik sila sa woods. Rels seeing exactly that with the sniper. 3v3. Medyo intense pa yung labanan dito sa woods. Lahat sila bumabaril pa.
Man, Heck on double digits, really solidifying the carry for MOTOMAC. Absolutely putting him in front, man. Putting him in front. Napigilan somehow yung MattJess na mag-commit talaga para lang mahuli doon si EV. What a heroic play for Heck, man. Natakot lang talaga sila sa presensya ni Heck. I'm pretty sure about that. And now Rels, now on jail, finds two. What a double pick by MattJess. Absolutely beautiful once again. That is textbook reposition for MattJess. Talk about getting the round on a high note as they head into the half with a 3-point lead. MOTOMAC, saan nga ba sila nagkulang ngayon?
Yeah, ito na yung opportunity ng MOTOMAC though to make a return, having the more advantage side dito sa subbase. And I think nagkamali sila doon nung hindi nila ma-take out dito si Rels. And once you can't take out the sniper dito sa jail, that's a shooting range para sa kanya dito. And I like yung intent no galing sa side ng MOTOMAC on that PL side, taking control dito sa LR in order to further pressure yung mga players na nasa loob ng jail, na nasa loob ng DR. And it just didn't work out in their favor, no? They didn't hit their shots in time. Ang dami pang natira galing sa side ng MattJess sa loob ng side. And wala sila masagot at that point.
Ang laki dapat ng itrabaho kayo ng MOTOMAC. They now have the side advantage. Pero sa lakas ngayon ni Rels, sa pinapakita ni Loy pagdating sa entry, baka pwede nang magising ngayon sa pagkakatulog ang MOTOMAC para hindi lang si Heck yung trumabaho, hindi lang si Heck yung kumuha ng pick-offs. There is a need for someone like Vincent and Evie to do the tasks once again necessary para pigilan X3D.
C4
finds Frey, and they now have C4 in place. X3D,
C4.
What a nice defense. Gusto nila talagang pulutin to, pero it's all just X3D that's stopping MattJess in getting the info. There goes wallbang potential and low, and A7J dangerously low, men. This control room is now on the possession of X3D, machine room I should say. But with Evie trying to challenge MZ, this could start the fate of both teams. One will have the chance to open this site, and one would push them outside of it. Popcorn, Hiram gets tagged. X3D is still standing tall. Buhay na buhay pa rin ang D1 X3D, man. MZ gets a pick off onto Hiram. And my God, MOTOMAC on the back of your anchor doon sa machine room. You have to give him the props, man. Bigyan nyo ng bagong kotse ngayon si X3D because he just did your bidding. My God, Sneaky, that was an absolute beauty.
Grabe. Nagkamali na agad si Frey sa start ng round by pushing first with the C4. I think the loose track yata ng MattJess kung kanino or kung sino may hawak ng C4 at that very moment, and naging desperado itong si Rels para kumuha ng control dito sa LR, at least get the C4 back para lang maging safe ulit yung round. Pero MOTOMAC, I like how quick they reacted. No? As soon as the C4 is down, naghingi agad ng tulong dito si X3D, and ang gwardya ng LR X3D, hindi siya nagpapadaan. Walang ID dito ang MattJess.
Nakakapasok nga ba ang MattJess? Yun ang tanong. Wala na si X3D, man.
Caster curse
They finally found the opening, man. Too good to be true nga ba para sa side ng MattJess? O ganun pa rin ang magiging kakalabasan ng round na to. With a good sets of shots. Sabi mo na kahit papano lumalaban pa rin talaga sila A7J and Loy. My God, this is now an avenue para sa kanila para i-open ang side, pero di nila alam doon sa may bandang likod. Heck is still there. 1v3 para kay Eevee. Nangangalahati na nga yung buhay. One now down. One more bullet. Eevee gets taken down. My God, that was absolutely nice here for MattJess.
Do you smell that? Do you smell that, Salvatore?
Nasty,
It smells like map 3.
My God, we are heading into map 3, man. For all the good reasons, man. What a start for our best of 3 EV, man! Parang hindi Parang hindi! Sneaky! Another caster curse incoming! Parang gusto ata ng MOTOMAC tapusin na itong 2-0. Umahabol pa sila, man. May rally pa silang gustong itapos ngayon at iraos. My God, Eevee walked para tumakbo. Si X3D doon, my God. He cleared out everyone doon sa machine room, and wouldn't have guessed it. Of course, MOTOMAC will be able to finish this off. One more hit will do it. And X3D finally puts the round to MG. My God, I
Alam ko
wish...
yung polar opposite yung nangyari dito sa MR, no? Kanina namatay na maaga si X3D. Sinabi na dito kay Eevee, we are taking control dito sa MR immediately. And nagulat doon ang singular MattJess player, or rather 2 MattJess players na nasa loob ng MR trying to take control. And MattJess, now alam na nila na they have to take control of MR first. This is such a dangerous spot para ibigay lang para sa side ng MOTOMAC gamers. And ngayon, we are gonna see them slow down a bit. Tamang mabagal play muna tayo. Hindi muna masyado magmamadali. I mean, Loy is still alive.
Okay. Pero, man, tough task for X3D, and heck, man. Parang, the time to kill here for MattJess has increased drastically. But if you are MOTOMAC, man, I wonder how will you play your cards right dito? Probably put X3D still on guard duty, machine room. Pero, oh my God, Kiram, he just exposed the position. Baka pwede na mag-push dito ang MattJess. Nakita nilang possibly mag-isa lang si Kiram sa jail. This might be the start.
Oh, but look at the angle galing kay Heck. He's in vent, pero kita niya yung A-site doon. He can see missile from that position. So if mag-A-site dito ang MattJess, they're not gonna expect si Heck above on towards vents. And no time to react whatsoever. Pwede siya bumalik sa loob for that additional cover. And yung HP bars dito ng MOTOMAC though, medyo maliit na para kay X3D after getting blasted sa start ng round. Pero Eevee, gonna have to defend this.
Oh my God. And hindi ko alam kung i-coin flip ba to ng MattJess. Wala na silang oras eh. Kailangan na nilang i-push to para ma-set up pa yung site. Matatagal sila dito sila i-post. MOTOMAC! And there goes! They finally found 2! And Kiram is doing so much work to get the double kill. Rels finally stops X3D. Pero napakalayo ngayon ni Rels. Oh my God!
35.
Saan ngayon papunta si Rels? He now has to make this happen. Isang mirakulo to para sa kanya kung paano maklear out to. MOTOMAC is still fighting. My God, Sneaky cutting the lead as low as 1. We head into half. Na 3 ang lamang ng MattJess. Pinitikan lang ng MOTOMAC ngayon ang lamang ng MattJess. What a rally to go back into the winning column para sa MOTOMAC.
Yep, 1 point away from tying up the scoreline with MattJess dito sa kanilang mas favorable na side, and that's gonna be great para sa side ng MOTOMAC Gamers, but that is not great. X3D falling dito sa passage, pero meron pang dalawa na nagde-defend sa loob ng site. Vincent, nakuha na nga si Frey dito sa mid. Loy gusto na rin makipasok, pero si Loy iba ang kanyang landas, gusto niya pumasok A-side, pero pumasok ang kanyang kakampi. MZ, he spotted. Meron tao sa likod, hindi yata nila na-realize na naandito na si Evie. Evie gonna get a freebie. Oh, pero Evie na spot sa likod. That could have been the C4.
Paano nangyari yun? Paano nangyari yun, Sticky? Evie, all you had to do, kailangan mo lang didilat yung mata mo, pre. Nahuli ka pa talaga ni MZ. Naging 1v3 pa nga. This was the round for MG. Pero heck, ano mo ibibigay ang... Oh my God, man. Nagulantang ang buong MOTOMAC doon. Evie, na-timingan siya. That would have been...
na timingan rin, man.
That would have been so beautiful, man. Pero kailangan pa rin ngayon, bumalik sa trabaho ngayon ng MOTOMAC kayo. Tatakbo talaga sila para makuha ngayon ang round na to, men. My God, 2 down for MattJess. Maalerto na ngayon sila. Para man lang ibalik sa kanila yung RS or at least yung jail. Wala nang kumokontrol sa kanila ngayon, no? Now, there goes A7J, cornered over at Woods. This is just a back and forth game, Sneaky Frog, and I am all in for it, pre. I am on the edge of my seat for all the good reasons. MOTOMAC, di na sila tumatakbo ngayon. Tignan mo, passive na sila ngayon. X3D still holding that box. Pero if you are MattJess, man, you gotta be careful. Pero MZ played his cards right, and this is now an opening inside of Machine Room.
Yep, bit of a Bogdan rule dito. MZ now gonna get the sniper. Rels, not too bad sa kanyang rifle play as well. So far, he has 16 frags dito sa game natin. MOTOMAC already losing X3D at the start of the round. And unfortunately, na-expect na yata ng MattJess na meron talaga maglalaro dito sa gilid ng LR. So they spotted for that one first and they backed up all the way knowing na sila yung may advantage dito sa round natin. Problema nga lang, medyo butas yung second mid, so pwede dumaan ng CR and prevent the rotations to come galing sa side ng MOTOMAC if makuha nga nila ang taas ng A. And there they go. Actually, hindi A yung landas nila, men. Gusto nila pumasok ng B-side instead at pumasok agad si Frey. Run and gun with the M4. Headshot agad dito kay Cram. And Frey gets 2. Double entry. Patay ang lahat ng miyembro ng MOTOMAC na nasa loob ng B-side. And the one hole na meron sila dito sa depensa, yun pa yung na-punish.
My God, ano pa talaga yung mahirap yun pa talaga ang inilunsad ng MattJess, men. That was an open A site. Pero para mas maganda yung challenge, sige, kunin natin yung B. The amount of firepower that it took para lang mahuli yung jail na yon was good enough, and MOTOMAC wala silang sagot na pabalik. MJ on a match point as we head into map number 3. Yun nga ba ang ibibigay ngayon ng MattJess? Isang malaking question mark pa rin yan, mga kaibigan. As MOTOMAC is still fighting, they are nowhere to be found in the outskirts of the map. Wala kang nakikitang ni isang kaluluwa sa may bandang mid. Wala kang ni isang kaluluwang nakikita sa vents at least. And that is the patience here. The patience level of MOTOMAC na ayaw na nga nilang isugal yung buhay nila para lang magmalalim sa mapa. Aantay nila ang MattJess doon sa sarili nilang lunggaan. What a miss shot by Rels! Napakasakit, Kuya Eddie, as Cram finally found one to put MJ in a bit of a slurry, pre. Hindi ko alam kung ipipilit pa rin naglit ang binato. Ipipilit pa rin nila, and it will all be down for Vincent kung kanyang depensahan yung double entry dito ng MattJess.
Pero si Loy baka dadaan siya ng passage instead. Provide another entrance para sa side ng MattJess, but no, they pack it up. They pack it up. Akala yata nila na nabait na ang depensa ng MOTOMAC para lumipat ng B. Granted, 3 sila na dito, pero kitang-kita ang merong nasa loob ng vents. MZ, oh, Cram! Why did you clear it like that? Bakit siya pumasok ng second mid? He's out in the open. Heck, makukuha si A7J. MZ nakuha sa mid. Nakuha dito si X3D. Pero Vincent at Heck getting 2 of their own. Si Loy na lang natitira. Loy with the headshot dito kay Heck. It's Vincent versus Loy in a 1v1. Nasa loob na ng A-site pero nakadrop yung C4, and I think aware dito si Vincent kung nasaan ang placement ng bomba. Pero Loy gusto niya i-challenge dito si Vincent, but that's the wrong decision. Vincent getting the headshot gamit yung kanyang M4, and MG 1 point away bago mag-overtime.
May laro pa tayo napapanoorin, Sneaky Frog. Wala pang uuwi, wala pang pupunta ng map number 3. Wala pa tayong ibibigay na ipanalo sa seryeng to. MOTOMAC is still fighting one more to force overtime. And MattJess is now in business mode. We'll see if MattJess will be able to commit to this one. Walang nakatingin! Walang nakatingin kay MZ! Walang nakatingin sa passage. Crucial mistake for MOTOMAC gamers as they now made their way into the site. MattJess, Reds will be the only one to receive some shrapnels doon sa entry ni MZ.
Pero meron pa mid.
Na bait out
Just
kagad
to
si
the
Reds. Di ko alam kung masyado atang matalino to para sa side ng MattJess. They now have the chance to rotate para lang malinis yung pasok nila dito sa B. Or even sa A actually, no? They could possibly force that para lang kuminto yung lakas ngayon ng MOTOMAC. Patuloy pa rin ang arangkada ng MOTOMAC para isa-isahin ang MattJess ngayon. Sinabi ko na kanina, pwede silang bumalik ng machine room, go to RS, go to Woods para makapasok sila ng A. Pero hindi, ipipilit pa rin talaga nila dito as MJ is still fighting here with one lone member na i-entry di sa loob ng A. MOTOMAC, you now have the chance to get redemption.
Yep, those nades making them slow dito sa kanilang reposition. So aware na dito ang MattJess or rather yung MOTOMAC gamers na meron ng tao na nasa gilid ng luwag. Pero si Frey with the more favorable angle. A7J nakisama na rin dito sa luwag. A7J gets to. Naubos ang MOTOMAC dito sa luwag at tinapos na agad ang MattJess. When B doesn't work, let's go A and defend as much as possible. Grabe, I really thought na kaya pa yung i-retake ng MOTOMAC considering medyo magulo ang sitwasyon sa A-side. Tinatapon sila ng napakadaming flash, hindi sila makarepo agad. Pero nagawa dito ng MattJess to set up a on-the-fly crossfire dito sa lubag. And they got it done dito sa sub-base. Grabe, I'm sweating, bro.
That was intense. That was the round of MOTOMAC. That was a 4v3, man. And it looked like a 4v1 kasi si A7J lang yung nag-hold ng angulong yun eh. There was no util setup para sa MOTOMAC. There was no one initiated doon sa ano na yun eh, sa entry na yun eh. They just really lined up. There was no strategic place for MOTOMAC and that was the most questionable thing that they could have possibly done doon pa talaga sa crucial round na yun. That would have went to overtime kung napigilan nila si A7J. Kaso ang kwento na ibibigay sa atin ni A7J, napigilan ko yung tatlong pumasok sa site, man. And that is now the story here for this game number, series number 1. 1-1, we head into map number 3, Sneaky Frog, and I am all in
Black
for
Widow,
it, man.
baby.
We head into Black Widow, the Pilipinas mapa. Ang masasabi mo talaga ang perlas ng silangan pagdating sa Crossfire, man. And would you believe it, it's going to be the map of both Rels and Loy, and my God, it's going to be exciting, man.
Ayun nga, just to quote a bit of history dito sa MattJess lineup natin or yun nga, the former Metacore lineup, this is the exact same map na natalo nila ang Pacific Macta in their best of 5 series in last year's tournament. So, sanay na dito ang MattJess pagdating sa Black Widow. And in my opinion, yung playstyle ng MattJess being hyperactive and yung multiple players being proactive doing solo plays is perfect for the map. Kagaya nga naman dito, ang daming spots na pwede mong laruin as that solo. Pwede ka mag-LA, pwede ka mag-short, pwede ka mag-CB. You can even go mid, B-house kung confident ka. And there's so many options para dito sa MattJess na squad para gawin ang Black Widow ang kanilang property dito. However, MOTOMAC, this first half is going to be very important para sa kanila dito. And they need to set the tone early dito sa Black Widow or else lose dito sa MattJess with their overall pressure pagdating nga sa mapa na to. But we're gonna take a look at the highlights here, Salvatore. And it was a fist fight dito sa sub-base.
Oh man, talagang wala ng boxing gloves sa sinuot eh. Parang fight club yung nakita ko talaga pag makuha lang talaga yung A eh. Halos sabo na yun nakikita ko ng laman loob pre para lang talaga masabing this site is ours. There was no stopping Vincent. There was no stopping Rels. Respectively, both teams really defended A because they knew the advantages of A and the strength para ma-set up ng mas madali. There was little to no action doon sa B na yun other than that second half wherein MattJess really wanted to go for B. And then when time came, and this was like the most goated defense here for A7J, man. Nahuli man siya, but the trade was absolutely beautiful at the end of the day, man.
Grabe, na-divide yung attention doon na MOTOMAC, no? As soon as na gusto nila talagang pumasok dito sa lubag, meron pa tao sa gilid, A7J playing the metal box, knowing na hindi wall-bangable yung metal box, no? So after yung first peak, you can just crouch again, re-peek, and crouch and re-peek, and mahirap ka talagang patayin dun sa sitwasyon na yun. And still, there is one person on the side just in case na hindi nga gumana yung first 2 or 3 kills para dito sa side ng MattJess, and they can still clutch it out even though hindi gumana yung situation na yun. And it was a good attempt, honestly, galing sa side ng MOTOMAC. Feeling ko nawalan na sila ng flash because they all threw it nung pagpasok dito ng site, and wala na silang options for any blinds para dito sa side ng luwag. So running out of nades is not the best option, especially pag gusto nyo i-retake yung luwag to be specific. So, unfortunate lang na nangyari yun dito sa MOTOMAC. They didn't have any flashes to go for a retake here.
And now, after the canvas has been drawn, pre, nakita natin na Anara, MOTOMAC, they really showed how aggressive they were. Pero MattJess, how strategic they were in sub-base. Piling all that up into Black Widow will be one heck of a series para ikwento natin sa lahat na nakikinig ngayon sa Crossfire. Huge shoutout. We are still alive here at the Facebook page of Crossfire Philippines. Tutok lang kayo kasi meron pa tayong Crossfire pagkatapos na itong sharing to. We now head into Black Widow shortly after pag okay na ang lahat. But one thing I am looking forward to, Sneaky Frog, is how Rels and Heck will fight off doon sa stage or even doon sa double doors na yun. But if ever like MOTOMAC finds so much success doon sa short na yun, if ever they do start blacklist, one thing is for sure, MOTOMAC will be able to capitalize on so much, and then there is so much to adjust pagdating naman sa MattJess. So it is a mixed balance of it is little to none para kay MattJess para labanan yung macro ng short pushes ng MOTOMAC, and then MOTOMAC will not be able to find anything dun sa short, force them long, and then dun makikita ng MattJess yung success na hinahanap nila from Rels as their sniper. So it is an even it is really an even playing field para sa dalawang teams na to, but Rels and Loy definitely has the most experience out of all. Even Kram and Evie don't have that much to say about Black Widow, pero Rels and Loy, very solid duo para ibigay sa MattJess yung posibleng panalo para sa kanila.
Yeah, for sure. I think yung pwede nating in-note na lang siguro na experience para dito kay Evie, no? Like, this is one of Team Random's favorite map, pero other than that, yun nga, it's an entirely new team, pare. You still have to adjust to the style for yung rest of yung lobby. And you do have a point, no, dito sa snipers versus snipers matchup natin between Rels and itong kay Heck, because we've already seen it multiple times. Obviously, nanalo si Heck dito sa Anara. It was, pretty equal dito sa sub-base between yung dalawang players natin. Rels was getting his due picks, Heck was getting his due picks. It really is up to who has the bigger ego, kung sino magpipeak ng frame, kung sino magpipeak ng stage. That's gonna be interesting to see, kasi having a 4v5 immediately on either side of the map, making problema yun talaga ng kung sino man yung mapipick dito, kasi pag na 4v5 ka as a GR, masiseparate kayo into 2 defenses and pwedeng dumaan or mas madami yung madadaanan dito ng ating BL. Pero kung kayo yung nasa BL side and then you get picked off, that means you have a lot less options pagdating sa mga executes nyo. But we are gonna have our set summary dito sa ating sub-base, of course, and we are gonna see who fragged out in this one.
Okay, now head into set summary. All beautiful numbers all over the board, pero ang mas nag-stand out talaga sa akin si Frey. Very rough start para sa kanya, but when it went over to the second half, you really saw how much of an impact he really gave para pigilan si Vincent pati si Heck. Two of which are the ones that really were the poisons dun sa mga A pushes na ginagawa talaga ng MOTOMAC. And one thing I could look forward to now heading into Black Widow is the fact that X3D really was the one that could be the defense that MOTOMAC is looking forward to, no? But how consistent will that be? Gaano ba kalayo yung pupuntahan ni X3D pagdating sa depensa? Yun ang isa sa mga katanungan na masasagot lang man lang kung pumunta na tayo sa Black Widow. But MattJess now finally found so many rounds na kung saan X3D will be defending, and if it's not X3D, it's going to be EV. Yung mismatch na yun, yung pagpapalit-palit lang nila yun, somehow nasagot nila ng sub-base. Heading into Black Widow, pwede na magbago yun. Kasi X3D, somehow his stint on Gaon Gaming proved na he could really hang on Black Widow. Not that much, pero pag alam niyang nilaro niya na talaga, it will be really solid. And take a look at this MVP caliber performance here for Rels. absolutely crazy all over the board. And would you
One
believe
kill
na
per round.
he would have
nasty.
1 kill per round every time he walks over at sub base. Absolutely solid.
Grabe. I mean, that's an insane statistic in and itself, pare, no? Just having 1 kill per round, that means guaranteed etong si Rels na makakapatay siya ng isang player. And every single player sa side ng MOTOMAC is important to their execute, no? So Rels, knowing that he is a constant looming threat para sa side ng MattJess, really did stop itong MOTOMAC back in their tracks. Pero yeah, you still want to give a bit of shoutout dito sa mga ibang players like itong si A7J doing the dirty work para sa kanyang team in order to further clean up itong MOTOMAC gamers. However, well-deserved para dito kay Rels. He hit some very important shots, even going head-to-head kay Heck dito sa map number 2. Despite, not having the best Ankara or the best sniping game dito sa Ankara, pumasok siya dito sa sub-base with a whole new mindset at sinabi niya sa sarili niya, kaya ko rin itong talunin si Heck. I just have to believe in myself.
Kung akala talaga natin Heck will absolutely dominate that dominate sub base, somehow carry the load na meron ng MOTOMAC, no, nakita talaga natin na he could be easily exposed. But when we go back, we'll be heading into Black Widow for the finalization of this series between MOTOMAC versus MattJess. This is Salvatore and Sneaky Frog. You're still watching CFS PH Masters 2024. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome to the CFS Esports, the top competitive crossfire esports scene in the world. Last year, the CFS Esports was able to celebrate the 10th anniversary successfully. The CFS Esports has been able to develop continuously with your love and interest for the past 10 years. In this context, this year's CFS Esports will bring adventurous changes to the scene to provide a more competitive ecosystem.
Welcome back mga bossing! Dito pa rin tayo sa Facebook page Crossfire Philippines for the live coverage of CFS PH Masters 2024. Salvatore, Sneaky Frog, we head into game number 3 shortly as Team MOTOMAC Gamers versus Team MattJess cannot just finish just like that. Pre, we just have to go into a decider for this solid of a series. And would you believe it, it's going to be Black Widow.
Oo nga, Black Widow, just like we said, plenty of history para dito sa MattJess sa mapa na to. And it really is amazing what they can do with some of these individual players. They also kind of mix it up dito sa may sub-base. They mixed up the roles para sa mga ibang players. They actually focused itong si Frey being more of the entry para sa kanyang team and assigning Loy as the lurk from time to time dito sa sub-base. However, sub-base or Black Widow is gonna be very interesting, no? Knowing yung MOTOMAC, probably magsisimula sila dito sa GR side and MattJess magsisimula dito sa BL. So it's a battle of the two strengths between yung dalawang teams natin dito. MOTOMAC has a really good GR, MattJess has a really good BL, and magka-clash tayo dito sa first half with probably some really good fights to start things off dito sa Black Widow, pare.
Siguro madami tayong naiisip pagdating sa Black Widow, no? Pero isa lang siguro yung common ground na makikita natin. The snipers and especially the post plants. Napakahirap talaga makuha ng A. And if you're trying to go for B, it's going to be a real challenge to even set up the crossfires. Kung ganun nga ba talaga ka-strategic yung team mo, you really have to get the first step doon sa pagkuha ng site na yun. And when you're going A, it is a challenge between the two snipers to get that one opening para makuha mo na yung site na yun. So Rels and as well as Heck will be the two prime targets pag nandun tayo sa A. And if you're going to B, you have to take a look at Loy or even Vincent para lang maibigay natin lahat ng pwedeng prop for both MD and MJ to have their advantage. And early on, Kram will be crushing in the skull of Loy. Parang ganun lang, basag abungo ngayon ni Loy with an opening for MOTOMAC Gamers.
That's gotta be one of the most expected plays na gagawin dito ng MattJess, especially sa start ng game, no? Them going a bit aggressive dito sa short in order to allow Loy to be in a more aggressive angle dito sa short specifically, no? Dun sa gilid. ng EA. And unfortunately, na-expect yun ng MOTOMAC, so they immediately look dito sa may short side. And it seems like it's actually the opposite yung sinabi ko kanina. It's MG starting off dito sa may blacklist side. MattJess gonna be on the defending. Pero it seems like itong MattJess, they want to be more aggressive than what their side does tell them, pare.
Kalmado. Kalmado.
Okay,
MOTOMAC.
1-0.
Possible na pwede nilang kunin tong short na to. Then hope for the best to get that A intact. Pero with the challenge in mind na ang ganda ng depensa ngayon ng MattJess doon sa B, they just have to go A. They just have to challenge Rels dito. Actually, si Rels hindi nga siya pumipick out ng long eh. He's now at short.
I think I have a clue.
Parang now that leaves B as a good prime spot para sa MG. And there goes, ang kailangan nilang talaga ilaban nila dito is Rels. And there goes the fight. Pray and Rels gets the shot. Absolutely crazy pandemonium doon sa RS ng MattJess. Isipin mo nga naman, no, Vincent gets a popcorn with now one man standing Vincent versus 1v1. And my God, na-timingan ka, idol! Suntukan na sana, kaso naglabas ng baril si idol. MattJess gets the first round.
Nagpapalit ng baril at that very last moment. It's so unfortunate para sa side ng MOTOMAC as they almost got into the site, pero ang bilis ng sagot dito ng MattJess. They read the play early as well, no? Nandito na sila sa may short looking to see if may maka-pick off sila dito sa may B bridge, and that they did. Nakuha nila si Cram with that sniper galing kay Rels, and a really good adjustment galing sa side ng MattJess, fully knowing na wala ng tao dito sa A and just fully focused itong B site natin.
God. What is now in the mind of MattJess? Double sniper? Sige. Pero ang paghiwalay siguro nito is let someone go to stage, let someone go to long, preferably A long actually, no. Pero now pwestuhan na ang dalawang sniper dito, having both coverage of P and as well as RS. Isang mahirap na trabaho kung ikaw si A7J. Pero for MOTOMAC, you just have to wait. You just have to hope na someone whips. At siyempre, isang pagkakamali lang talaga dito ng MattJess. Opening na yan para sa side ng MOTOMAC. There goes sa setup, double flash. Bulag na bulag ngayon ang nasa may baba ng short. As now, kumukolect na pa rin talaga ng vision ngayon ang MattJess as there goes the trades of bodies. And Heck gets a beautiful shot para kay Frey. Nice follow-up para kay X3D. As A7J na lang ang natitira dito with one more to go as A7J meets his fate. Talagang dun ka pa talaga pumunta. Di ka man lang nag-isip na pwede kang pumunta ng RS men. But then again, MOTOMAC will be taking that home.
Yeah, I think he would have died either way, in all honesty. Apat pa yung natira dito sa top A. And the fact na MattJess just allowing itong short control para sa side ng MOTOMAC in order to set up a kill. Pero X3D already taken down sa start ng round. Classic Loy play to go for that early peak. And si X3D pa yung nawala. So that's the main entry ng MOTOMAC already gone. So it's either assigned dito kay EV or kay Vincent para kumuha ng entry para sa kanyang team. Or if they do feel frisky, pwede nilang ipasok si Cram doon. He's familiar with that role, that's for sure. Pero yun na nga, pumasok na sa short. Hindi na pinapaisip ng MattJess itong MOTOMAC. Pero Vincent, makukuha na si Loy. Stuck sa short dito si MZ. Kailangan niya nang umalis immediately bago pa sa i-post ng mga members dito ng MOTOMAC Gamers. Pero Rels, nakuha na si Vincent. Heck gets one in return. And yung kaguluhan na yun, pantay pa rin yung numbers natin dito, pare.
Dami na nangyari. Sa double flashes na binato talaga ng MJ. Mag-aakala ka, kahit man lang si Heck o si EB mawawala doon. Pero no, buhay pa rin ang tatlo ng MOTOMAC. And you gotta give it to MattJess, man. They're still fighting. They still know how to hold the site. Maganda yung separation nila dito. But the challenge is, pag na-open yung isa, he now has the responsibility para mag-rotate ang mabilisan.
Yeah.
Because
if anyone misses,
that is going to be really, really bad if you are, well, of course, MattJess, no? Pero MOTOMAC gamers, di ko alam, man. They're not committing on a site. They really want to start the lurk. They want to go, actually, LA? LA? What?
oh wait, hindi nakita ng cross si Heck.
Oh my God. Di ko alam, man. Rels, kalmahan mo lang, pre.
Rels
Hayaan
might be
mong
dead.
sila ang pumasok. Hayaan mong sila ang pumasok. Matatayamingin si Rels. Nakita nila si Rels. Oh my God! Rels! You absolute monster! Kahit kahit anong timing! Walang-wala yan kay Rels!
Oh, yun lang. They had such a small window para patayin si Rels dito na nakaharap siya ng RS instead of LA. Pero Rels, the MVP ng map number 2, showing why he's the MVP. Getting that first kill gamit yung kanyang sniper, pulling out the pistol, getting 2 headshots. And that's what we expect from MattJess. Loy nagpapakita dito sa short, nakakuha na ng dalawa. Evie and Vincent already down. Si X3D naghahanap pa rin ng ulo pero wala siyang mahanap. Oh, it's suddenly a 3v5 already. Ganito kabilis maglaro yung MattJess, pare.
Sabi ni, it is indeed the Rels and Loy territory, pre. At talagang naninirahan lang ang MG. Naikirenta lang talaga ang MOTOMAC ngayon. Dinaanan lang ni Rels at ni MG. MattJess gets another convincing round. It's not just any round, Kiki. It's one of those rounds talaga na alam mong pinaghahandaan ng MattJess. Early setup for the smoke. And it's now looking like a chance for MOTOMAC to get something out of LA. Loy gets another double. Pero mababawi kagad ni X3D at Vincent. Forcing 3v3. Just like that, ang bilis trumabaho ng MJ pati na MG. Frey gets cram. And I don't know where MOTOMAC will go. Kasi MattJess, 3 members, it's enough to hold mid A and B.
Grabe. Yung strategy dito ng MattJess is tailor-made para dito sa Black Widow, allowing yung more aggressive plays to come from multiple sides of the map. And walang time makaisip dito yung MOTOMAC eh. Wala silang time para makakuha ng on-the-fly call kasi everyone is fighting at the same time. Si Cram lumalaban sa mid, meron dalawang lumalaban dito sa long. And yun nga, MattJess, that type of style creates a lot of confusion para sa side ng MOTOMAC kung saan ba talaga yung tina-target dito ng MattJess na squad.
Okay, so this has to be a position where MattJess is supposed to succeed. And isa-isa na lang nila ngayon ang MOTOMAC. Pero Vincent, actually, Frey, they know where Vincent is. That was a good read galing kay Frey. That was beautiful, man. Wala man lang binigay na info doon si Vincent. But MattJess knew that there was supposed to be someone from MG na magpa-flanka. Kagulat-gulat galit sa MattJess. Hindi man sa kanila ang Anara. Pero nasa kanila ngayon ang respeto ng MOTOMAC. 3-point lead from MattJess. Heading into round number 6. MOTOMAC, kung ako sa inyo, pre, 5 na kayong mag-push na LA. That's the only chance for Rels to not get anything. At least smoke it out, no? Get a better smoke. Hope for Rels na hindi tumama yung una niyang shot. And one re-challenge from Rels will call in the reinforcements galing sa MJ. And I do think that would start the bloodshed here at A.
For sure. Medyo mahina yung kanilang depensa dito sa mid. Pero iba yung tatargetin dito ng ating MG na squad. They went short earlier. Gumana yun para sa kanila. But can they go short again? Meron tao dito sa ilalim. And that's gonna be Loy. Nakahanda siyang sumalo ng kahit anong players na pababa dito sa RS. And the patience galing dito sa MG. And ayun lang, MG, first one taken down. Vincent, una mahuhulog para sa kanyang team. Bulag na bulag dito si Loy sa ilalim. But he's already done his job. Nakapatay na siya ng isa dito. Meron pa nakatambay sa slope na sniper. Rels trying to get it in. Pero EV, nagulat sa galing dito sa window. A7J with a very nice peek. Tignan mo naman nasan yung C4 Salvatore. Nasa gitna ng kawalan.
My God, Rels. Almahan mo lang, pre. Sobrang galing mo, baka ma-regular ka na. MattJess, absolutely crazy sets of kills. Galing lamang kay Rels, pati kay Loy. Imagine, the timing would have been perfect kung nakotlaking dun si Loy. Pero the readjustment for him to take down X3D and as well as Vincent, man. The presence of mind for Loy to reposition himself to get those flawless shots, absolutely crazy. And Frey, once again, showing no remorse para sa side ng MOTOMAC gamers. With now 25 on the clock, Cram is in no man's land. Nandoon yung C4. Sabi pagba, but I don't know if this will be an entry point para kay Cram. Man, he is walking on MattJess territory. Di ka welcome dito, idol. And there goes MattJess with a 4-point lead. Absolute crazy, man.
Grabe. That was one of the more passive rounds na nilaro dito ng MattJess. I think in-expect yata ng MJ na may gagawin na 5-man play itong MOTOMAC. So they stayed still dito sa kanilang depensa and they waited for the eventual push. Pero MZ, nakuha na agad si Heck, EV, Vincent down, Loy na naman, nagpapakitang gilas. Pero si Cram finally gets one in return. Wala na yung dalawang snipers on each side. MZ nakuha na naman ng isa and naubos na naman ang MOTOMAC gamers from a single individual player. MZ looking for the last. Pero si Loy ang makakahanap dito kay X3D. And MattJess na naman, another swift round.
My
6-1
God.
na tayo dito sa Black Widow, Salvatore.
Sneaky na pagdaanan na ng panahon ang MOTOMAC. Gone are the days where X3D and Heck were really the shining stars para sa side ng MOTOMAC. MattJess, it's now their era para simulan tong araw na to. We head into this round with a lot to say for MattJess but less for MOTOMAC gamers. So now, MOTOMAC, passive na passive, men. Parang sila pa talaga yung nag-aabang na mag-overextend ng MattJess. Pero alam naman natin na mas kaabang-abang ang pwestuhan ngayon ng MJ. Pero if ever, MattJess sends Frey dito sa may double doors, get into short, that is one thing that MG could look forward to get access kagad sa short. Pero since MC on A7J is nasa may bandang site lang din, mabilis nilang pwedeng i-trade si Frey. So that is also now a X across para sa checklist ngayon ng MOTOMAC gamers. Pero good positioning from both Rails and A7J. At least hindi nila ine-expose yung pwesto nila para magbigay pa ng ibang info para sa side ng MOTOMAC gamers. Loy once again on short duty. Pero tinan mo gaano talaga siya kakalma na hindi talaga siya basta-basta umalis agad dito. With him anticipating Heck at Vincent, this might be a good position para sa side ng MattJess. Heck already getting rails. Oh my God. This might be really, really good for MOTOMAC gamers. There's no more sniper here for MattJess, at least for the time being. Not over at double doors. Vincent gets a miraculous double kill out of all the possible victims of the wallbang of Vincent. Dalawa pa
MG?
talagang malaki para sa side ng
A7J?
MattJess. A7J gets a defense of a lifetime. Once again, forces 2v2.
Grabe, na-hold pa nga yun ng MattJess ang babaan dito ng RS and it's still a very winnable round. Isang mistake lang galing sa side ng MOTOMAC and this could fall apart very quickly. Spotted na dito si Hex sa may house P. A7J looking for the player on site instead. A7J siya pa kayo nauna paloob and MOTOMAC forcing out that mid push. Granted, madaming namatay para sa side nila dito as long as they get B, one of the hardest sites to retake sa lahat ng map pool. That is gonna be A-okay. Pero
Oh my
Renz, 2-1 na yan, men. 2-1 ang head-to-head nila, men.
Parang ang sabi sa akin kasi ni Rel, pre, parang tinawagan niya kasi telepono niya, pre, mapa ko na to Sinabi niya sa akin kanina. Men, the amount of fights Rels took compared to Heck, lahat ng nilaban ni Heck, kalaban niya lang si Rels. Rels was fighting X3D, EB, and Heck at the same time. Man was doing so much duties all for the sake of getting Heck. Pero dahil nga lumilinya na kagad si X3D pati si EV doon kay Rels, ang hirap ibigay talaga kay Heck na siya yung magbibigay pugay ngayon sa MG. No, man. Now the time for Rels and there's no stopping him, pre. Mareregular talaga si Rels. Matataasan ang sahod ngayon ni Rels and there goes A7J. Getting a golden crown. 1, 2, 3. MOTOMAC gamers down on one single magazine of A7J. We head into the half. 7-2 MattJess. My God, sneaky fragment. Kung ikaw ngayon ng MOTOMAC, sampal talaga sa likod ng ulo ang pwede mo matanggap ngayon.
Yep, that is for sure. MOTOMAC not having the best time pagdating dito sa kanilang first half pero mas gusto nila ang global risk. Halatang halata from those first two maps but what is gonna be the result of it? Pare X3D going a bit aggressive dito sa Cat B trying to catch itong si Loy off guard. Hindi sila makakapasok ng shorts or they're gonna have to cancel yung kanilang A-take in order to further clear itong mid. Pero madami pa namang oras. 1 minute and 56 still on the clock. So plenty of time for MattJess to start clearing yung mga ibang mga angles dito. And already though, one low HP player para sa side ng MOTOMAC, and that is Heck, but it's fine. He has the sniper, pero X3D, sinagad niya na dito ang CB. Instead, he gets taken down. A7J na naman showing up on the scoreboard, pare.
Okay, so walang masyadong action dito para sa MOTOMAC gamers. If ever man, Vincent, hindi ko alam kung tama to para sa MOTOMAC. Pagsama-sama na lang talaga kayo dapat sa short.
Vincent,
Huwag nyo
stop.
na tignan yung double doors. Huwag nyo na tignan yung double doors. Finally, MZ. Natauhan na din. And still, MOTOMAC will be facing off 5 members of MattJess. Kumpara sa 3 na nga lang sila dito. Wow! EV! Slides and glides, MZ! And parang bumabawi na kayo ng MOTOMAC gamers on the back of Cram! Loy, hindi ko alam pre kung kaya mo pa huminga, kung meron man Ben, bigyan mo ng simbolo ngayon ng MattJess na kaya mo pa mabuhay. Dalawa na kayo ni Frey. Grabe men. Isang ubo na lang talaga kayo galing sa MG. Pero naman, pwede pa talaga lumaban habang may katawan pa. Pwede. EV from the backside. And Loy is still fighting, men. This is a battle of one taps, men, literal. Pero ang kalamangan lang talaga dito ni EV, katawan lang ang pwede niyang itama dito. Naririnig, men. Ang taas ng kumpiyansa ni Loy na may figures advantage siya dun eh. Pero hindi, pre. EV had a health advantage. And I will take that anytime. MG cuts the lead to 4.
Yeah, I think yung gusto sanang gawin dun ni Loy was to actually tap walk all the way sa harap dito ni EV to try and catch him by surprise without any footstep. But unfortunately, ready ang last player dito ng MOTOMAC Gaming. And this could be the start of something of a comeback para sa side ng MOTOMAC. Now they're on the more comfortable side ng kanilang mapa dito. And being on GR, mas nagiging natural no para sa side ng MG.
Finally, entry. Naghahanap na siguro ng action ngayon ang MattJess. Wala pa na-pick off pero nakapagtanim na kagad ang MattJess. Ganyang ka-ambisyoso ngayon ang blacklist natin ngayon. Pero MOTOMAC, meron pa silang kailangan dependahan. At yun ang pumapasok na MJ. EV gets one, and then as well as Heck. Napipigilan nila ngayon ng MattJess. Di ko alam anong iniisip ng MattJess. Bakit kayo nagtanim ng buhay pa lahat ng MOTOMAC gamers? Kumuha man lang sana kayo ng isa o dalawa para mas mapadali ang retake. Pero hindi. Binigay nila yon sa MG para sabihin, sige, consolation nyo na yan. And Heck, naku po. Heck, with the resurrection. Ito na nga ba ang hack na hinahanap ng MOTOMAC gamers?
Yep, I think yung intention, yeah, I mean, planting immediately definitely can be questionable dito, pare. Pero na-realize yata na maaga ng MattJess na MOTOMAC is gonna go for a retake play. Pero Vincent, nakuha na nga agad dito si Loy going in towards short. So already 2 big pickoffs para sa side ng MOTOMAC. Pero nandito si MZ nagpaparamdam sa LA. And there is still no definite push na mangyayari. Nasa base pa naman yung C4. Pero alam nila na naandito sa long si MZ, so they're gonna try and attempt a trap para maging 2v4 ang sitwasyon dito.
Okay. Kung sa ali man na MJ will be getting 1, okay na. Magiging 3v3. Kaso, yung 3v3 na yun, kailangan pa rin nilang ingatan yung sarili nila kasi they still have to entry a site. Yung 3v3 na yun, kahit sabihin nilang maging 3v2, dalawa yung depensa doon sa site na yun. Sobrang low ni Frey, sobrang low ni MZ. So, the situation will be turned around easily para sa side ng MJ. But now MG having total control of mid. Kailangan na nalang hanapin dito yung nagtatagong A7J. Ang liwanag ng buwan para sa side ng MG, men. Oh my God! With a lead as huge as 5, it's now just 2, Sneaky Frog. What a series we are having right now as MG gets it to work.
Yep, Vincent starting to heat up dito sa laruan natin. X3D attempting to get some early damage galing sa mga short players natin, pero wala munang dadaan galing sa side ng MattJess. However, since walang dumaan papuntang short, so I i-expect na yata dito ng MOTOMAC that there could be a B play coming anytime soon, and either lalaroin nila kagaya kanina where they're just in retake mode, reserving their nades, hindi sila nagsasayang ng resource and wait for them to come in, get the plant, and be uncomfortable. Pero mukhang gusto nilang labanan ng head-to-head dito sa B-side, pare.
Oh, dash. Ganda, men. Kaso, ang follow-up pa, mas maganda. Frey makakuha ng isa, pero they need more than this. Nice states. Pipigilan ngayon ang entrance dito sa may bandang B as Frey.
Dami low.
Grabe nga naman ang wallbang dito ni Evie. Ang daming low, hindi. Tatlo nga yan. Madali na lang yan para sa side ng MJ. Pero Kram, sinig-sinig rin dito. Almahan mo lang ang inyong mga pwesto kasi pwedeng ma-expose yan ngayon ng MOTOMAC Gamers. Pero nabaliktad din kagad ng MJ as the 3 low members got punished really heavily. Si Heck lumalaban pa rin kasi may hininga pa siyang kayang ibuga ngayon. Not for long. Isang bala ka lang kay Rails. And with MattJess, hindi nila bibigyan ng pagkakataon ng MOTOMAC na gawing isa or matay man lang yung seryeng to. MattJess pushes the lead to 3.
Yep. I love that little pause na ginawa dito ng MattJess dito sa B-site na nahimik muna sila ng sandali, making MOTOMAC doubt kung babalik pa sila ng A-site. Kasi wala namang nakakontrol dito sa loob ng B-house. They have no information kung pasok na ba talaga ang MattJess or hindi, with the exception of one player crossing, killed by EV. Pero MOTOMAC getting a bit mind-gamed dito sa B-site natin. I think they should have just done yung 5-man retake kagaya na nakita natin kanina bago pa maka-reposition itong MattJess dito sa B-site. They go in eventually. Pero ito na nga, speaking of going in, a short gonna be attempted. Pero MZ mahuhulog agad with 2 players actually guarding itong short area natin. Heck, makukuha si Frey. And that's 2 outliers dito ng MJ already gone. However, knowing MattJess, they're still very dangerous pagdating sa baka 3v5.
Men, masyado na atang tumataas yung kumpiyansa ng MattJess pero hindi maganda yung kinakalabasan eh. Sa nakikita natin, MOTOMAC, alam nila kung hanggang saan magpapang-abot yung mga 1v1s nila. Pero dahil nga nagmamalalim ang MattJess, yung 1v1s na yun nagiging 2v1s. Kasi nga, ang ganda ng crossfire na setup ngayon ng NG. Kasi kailangan na lang nila man tumayo sa site eh. At hayaan nilang pumasok ang MattJess with EV taking down Rails. As we now see the pandemonium unfold here, Sneaky Frog patuloy ang tulak ng MJ. Pero hanggang saan nga ba sila aabutin dito? 50 on the clock. Loy and A7J needs to make a play. Like that one play na pwedeng ma-expose si Vincent. Kasi pag napagilan si Vincent, at least I see an opening at least sa A. With now A7J. I mean, parang tumataas balahibo, lumalaki ang mata. A7J, nakikita yung sight. Pwede? Siguro? Kaso wala yung C4, wala yung tao. Isang rotation lang ni Heck, makikita nyo na kagad si A7J. He's clearing out, and there goes the clear. Maririnig to ni Heck, and I think MG will now be playing the retake.
Slow but steady para sa push palabas ng window A. Pero Vincent, makukuha niya si Loy. So it's a 1v4 of a lifetime para sa tropa natin na si A7J. Nakuha si X3D pero hindi si Heck hinarangan ng katawan. And MG, 2 points away from tying things up once again dito sa laruan natin. MattJess, meron pa silang 2 points in terms of leeway. So they could still throw a few aggressive rounds and now they're gonna have to get serious pag 8-8 na yung scoreline. Pero it's not the same opening picks na nakukuha nila from the other round. So they're gonna have to regroup, rethink kung anong gusto nilang gawin dito. And it seems like B-side is the way to go. AV missing his flash and that could cost itong MOTOMAC gamers. They are aware na meron pa tao dito sa loob ng side. X3D already taken down. MZ nakuha na si EV. Heck getting 1 pero Rails getting 1 in return as well. Heck getting itong si Rails. Oh my god, MOTOMAC and MJ are going crazy. A7J, how did you hit that shot? Heck, the final one left alive. Match point na ba to para sa MattJess? The sniper that saved itong MOTOMAC is not gonna be enough. And MattJess taking us to map point. What a series so far. And it all leads down to this, pare.
Isipin mo na lang yung pwedeng ikwento natin sa lahat kung 3 rounds yung makukuha ng MOTOMAC dito. Pero sa pinakita kanina ng MattJess, strategic yung pagpasok nila doon. So many good shots for A7J. Nice flash actually from Frey and MZ para mapigilan yung entrance na yun doon sa B. And with all of that combined doon sa entry ni A7J, pre, icing on top of the cake na lang talaga yung panalo doon sa round. MOTOMAC needs a turnaround. They need to go back to the drawing board. Kailangan yung ingatan talaga si Vincent dito. Isang magandang investment yan sa post plants na pwede nyo makuha. Ang sinasabi ko lang na pwedeng ibigay ngayon ng MJ, siguro si Frey kung sakaling magmalalim siya. Pero if ever Vincent gets caught, which is what it's happening right now, open ngayon ng short, delikado na ngayon ng MOTOMAC Gamers. Pero hindi ko alam kung magmamalalim din dito ngayon ang MOTOMAC Gamers. Actually, they will. Pero sobrang risky nun. But it will be paying off to force 3v3. Frey gets caught. Nice sets of kills here for MOTOMAC Gamers. One more for X3D to secure the double and the life of Floy. MOTOMAC Gamers with a coin flip of a play doon sa short na yon. Kram baiting himself para makapwesto si X3D. What a captain's and a heroic play para sa side ng MOTOMAC Gamers as MJ still knocking on heaven's door para lang makuha yung milagrong round na to.
Heck na naman, nagpapakitang gilas dito sa B-side. Loy getting si Kram. And all of a sudden, it's a 4v3. Wala nang analysis. There's no time, pare. There's only fights in and around yung mapa natin. However, Loy has a bit of a timing. Papasok ng short. But Vincent is on his tail. Hindi niya ibibigay ang A-site ng libre lang. He's gonna stay sa loob ng window A. And still, all of a sudden, this is the favorite move dito ng MattJess. Let Loy find an opening. And let us see what he can get through. At papalik na nga yung MattJess. Papasok ng side. Pero great clear. Galing sa side ng MOTOMAC Gaming. MattJess stuck na naman dito sa B-side. Pero yung nakabantay, ang sniper ng MOTOMAC na inubos ang dalawa kanina dito sa B-side. But instead, play numbers na lang ang gagawin dito. Really smart play galing sa side ng MOTOMAC, not to overextend for this one. And gusto nilang kunin ang House B ulit. Pero tignan mo nasan yung C4. Iba ang landas ni A7J. He wants to go back to A site. And MZ possibly, he could go for a flank. Pero yung problema, wala nang pwedeng escape dito si
MZ.
MZ.
Tayo ka lang dyan, MZ. MZ, tumayo ka lang dyan! Nakita si A7J! MZ, hindi niya na hold off. Imagine the play. MZ holding off B. A7J making his way to short para makarating ng plant. And then, magugulantang yung MG dun eh. There goes the spray from MZ. That would have been a very, very nice play. But MG is still fighting, man. What a game 3 we have, Sneaky Frog, pre. Napapatayo yung balahibo sa mga pangyayari. And this is just the first series. Meron pa tayong Execration Gaon Gaming. Meron pa tayong Pacific Pacta versus SGJ. Pero ngayon, ang ating main event ay si Vincent dito sa short with a double kill. At kasama niya si X3D na invited din sa party. Pero yung party na yun, pre, hindi magugustuhan yun ng MattJess kasi 3 ba naman yung pinatalsik doon sa club na yun, pre. 1 minute and 44. MG tiptoes away to force overtime. A7J picks it out and he gets the pick.
Big pick.
Nicely done here by MattJess. Pero dahil nga sa dami ng tao ngayon ng MG, pwede pa rin nilang i-secure ang mga pwesto para hindi nila makuha yung choke points dito ng MattJess. 1 pick off from Rails to force 2v3. Nicely done here from Rails. My God, Sneaky Frog. The energy is just absolutely wild. Isipin mo, pre. Isipin mo, if Heck picks this out, this will be godly. The sense for him para malaman na si A7J ay manggagaling sa stage over to double doors, man. This will be absolutely crazy. What? Oh my God, MattJess forces 2v2. This is an open B site. There goes the plant. Kram. Nagugulantang na. Kailangan na nilang i-set up yung site na to.
Oh no.
Reds is still in no position doon sa Godbox. Kram. Alam na ata na nandoon si Reds. Kram gets tagged, and as well as ED, pinasok in order si Rels. 1-for-1. This will determine the fate, overtime, or tapos ng series. Kram peeks out, and there goes MattJess. That was absolutely crazy to finish the series. We give MattJess the winners of the first best of 3 for today. Oh my.
They clutched the 2v4. They clutched the 2v4 to end Black Widow. Oh my God, it's straight up impressive series. Kaya excited talaga kami ni Salvatore dito sa series number 1 pa lang because we know the potential, we know the show na pwedeng ibigay dito sa mga viewers natin. And MattJess, pinapakita ang kanilang macro play even sa mga 2v4 situations. They know what to do. They know that they can still win. And that exactly what happened. Yung MOTOMAC lahat nakaposte in and around the map, but lahat ng sightlines hindi doon dumaan yung MattJess. And a stellar 1v1 to end things off.
Oh my God, man.
MattJess taking the first win dito sa CFS PH Masters. But it was a banger of a series though, man. Back and forth, pare.
Oh my God, Rels. Di natin siya nakita ng Anara eh. He just had to show up at subbase at Black Widow, pre. And even to score 3 kills. 3 kills! Doon sa crucial round na yun to force 1v1. That was absolutely crazy, man. Nakakagulat para sa akin that was the round for MOTOMAC to force overtime. We would have went extra 4 and that would have been more exciting. Pero no, they handled business early. Titiklop na sila na kagad ng maga, ibababa na kagad yung bakal para isarado na ngayon ang shop ng MOTOMAC Gamers. We give to you, MattJess, our first winners of today's best of 3 fiasco. And my God, what a story to tell. Rels came from irrelevance. Talagang tahimik lang siya sa umpisa. Hindi ka kung paano ka nagsimula, paano mo tatapusin. I've said this time and time again. He showed up when it matters the most. And Rels should be given the keys to the city, man. Siya dapat yung nakaupo ngayon sa trono. Siya dapat ang pinupuri ngayon.
Man, I'm still out of words na sa nangyari dito sa last round natin in Black Widow. It's just mind-blowing to me na kaya pa yun ipanalo ng MattJess with that big of a disadvantage though. But that just goes to show na no matter what round, no matter what is the situation, MattJess believes that they can win said round. And overall, banger of a series, pare. I really loved yung veto natin with us starting off dito sa Anara, showing what MOTOMAC can do, and then pagpasok natin dito sa map 2, subbase being MattJess written all over it, pare. And then going into yung Black Widow, first half natin is a back and forth, and then pagdating ng second half, it was also a back and forth. And malapit ng mga comeback sana dito yung MOTOMAC Gamers. Is just that MattJess, they are a different breed pagdating sa mga situations where they have the disadvantage.
Ay, nako, pre. Yeah. The words right out of my mouth. So, na nagsabi, lost for words, I am a lost for words as well. Ang kaya ko lang talaga masabi ngayon is, what a day. It's not even finished, pero what a day it has been already, Stevie Fag. The first 3 games of MattJess and MOTOMAC might as well be the grand finals of CFPH Masters. Pero I'm just saying that on the back of my mind and blindly because of how intense it was. It is very comparable talaga sa fall finals last year on how intense and how cool it would be for that to be the final game or the final round to conclude the series, no? And this is the setup that led to the MattJess moment. This is the MattJess incident. A7J clutching it up for his team and Rels getting the final 3 kills, man. Oh my God. That was a 2v4. Again, guys, hindi lang yun basta retake ng ng MattJess. That was a 2v4 to force a plant. The wrap around for Rels and the position of A7J.
It was genius. Man, nakuha pa ni Relson si X3D, no? Dun sa RS. X3D was trying to go for a big flank para makakuha siya ng control dito sa LA. And then he got surprised. Oh, nandun pala si Rel sa base. So, I feel like after ng moment na nakuha dito si X3D, the info was just lost in translation, para sa mga players natin on the side of MOTOMAC. And this just goes to show, no, yung multiple styles na may kita natin dito sa PH Masters. MattJess having 5 proactive players para naman sa MOTOMAC. They're more by the book na team, no? So, it seems like yung proactivity ng MattJess beat them out, especially pagdating dun sa final round. Yung sugal na ginagawa dito ng MattJess was insane, man. They know how to weigh yung risk-reward ng kanilang mga plays dito, and they know that they can get a bigger reward despite being a lot riskier of a team, no? And it worked out in their favor, pare. And it really works out pag nandito na kayo sa Black Widow, where it's a map where the individuals do shine. Granted, meron kang mga teamwork moments na nakikita natin from time to time, but the individuals from both sides stepping up to the plate. And I can't wait to see set summary, no, kasi feeling ko all 10 players really stepped up to the plate dito sa Black Widow, pare.
All respects to MOTOMAC Gamers, man. Like you mentioned, 5 proactive players, pero X3D really was the one that ignited the flame doon sa second half na yun, eh. Parang X3D was the one stopping Rels and Loy in a simultaneous position, no? So him having so much of a responsibility paved the way for so much of a success para sa side ng MOTOMAC gamers. But there is little to no attention para kay X3D doon sa mga cross map plays niya, the 1v1s that he took in order to have an opening, the 1v1s he also took para mag-step back at para huminto yung push ng MattJess. Those were some of the considerations and the elements kung bakit X3D was indeed the losing side MVP para sa MOTOMAC gamers, man. Macro-wise, it was so close, man. Parang nakita ko talaga na parang kinakabahan si Rels tsaka si Loy. Combined. Hindi lang si Rels yung kinakabahan. Rels and Loy, pareho talaga silang kinakabahan because MOTOMAC was on a rally. MOTOMAC was on a mission, pre. Parang walang makakapigil talaga kay X3D, pati kay Vincent dun. But it just had to be Rels. It just had to be Rels for those final 3 kills, man. For him to be able to wrap around and read around X3D na naglalurk din siya, that takes a lot of IQ and gal para gawin yun, men. And
For sure.
this is now the story. Tapos na, pre. Tapos na.
Like, we can't really do anything about it at the end of the day. Yun nga, you were right about yung point na yun. No? It was really yung X3D Heck and itong si Rels and itong si Loy fighting each other out. But I also would love to give some flowers dito kay A7J kasi he was half of the reason why kung bakit nakakuha ng mga 3v5 wins, 2v5 wins itong MattJess, and his direction pagdating sa kanya mga lurks dito, him finding the open sights again and again and again kasi MOTOMAC nag-over-adjust sila from time to time, and pag nakita ni A7J na nag-over-adjust dito yung MOTOMAC on towards yung B side, now we can go A. There's so many options na pwede gawin dito yung MattJess, no? But what I like about MattJess is hindi sila kumukuha agad ng first option sa listahan ng kanilang mga options dito. Yes, nakakuha na ng control dito sa A7J sa A side, but what else can we get galing dito sa advantage natin? Maybe we can get a pick off dito sa middle, maybe we can get an odd pusher dito sa B side, and ayun nga, ang bilis mag-isip dito ng MattJess kung anong gagawin nila in the round despite having yung mga disadvantage natin. So yeah, shout out to MattJess doing exactly that. And actually, yun nga, no, I'm so glad na iba-ibang players rin natin nag-step up. I thought it was gonna be a Loy show. Granted, yun nga, ang daming highlights dito ni Loy. He was getting a lot of aggressive kills para sa kanyang team, even neutralizing itong si X3D from time to time. It was the rest of the squad playing really well in the process dito ng laruan natin.
Oh, man. Oh my God. Let's proceed to the interview for the winning team. Team MattJess, representing MattJess will be none other than A7J. My God, what a series it is for you, my friend. Hello, A7J, pre. Okay ba? Naririnig naman kami. Okay. So yun. Tanong lang namin sa'yo, A7J, no? So, ano yung parang naging motivation nyo, no? Kasi hindi naging maganda yung simula nyo sa Anara, no? So, sa map number 2 tsaka map number 3, ano yung parang nagpasimula sa inyo para talagang durugin talaga yung MOTOMAC?
Yeah, we might need to turn up your boy because we can barely hear him. Pero yun nga.
A7J, thank you so much. Sadly, no, parang okay, i-translate na lang siguro natin kung ano yung sinabi ni A7J, pero parang sinabi niya parang ganun talaga, no, pag galing ka lang talaga sa sa laylayan, kailangan mo umangat para gawin 'yun. Kailangan mo humatak talaga pababa. Hinatak niya pababa talaga yung buong MOTOMAC eh. Like,
yeah. Transition, man.
Narinig ko sa kanya, pre. Pero parang spatial lang talaga eh, parang neural talaga na connection lang 'yun galing sa amin ni A7J. Pero sana para sa susunod na nating interview, sana maayos na yung niya,
it's fun.
Yung mic niya. Pero okay na yun. Once again, congratulations to Team MattJess and A7J. Pero yun, okay na. Well, yun. Mas maayos na feed na ata siguro. Let's head to the interview of the winning team, MattJess. Oh, wait lang daw. Okay, naayos pa ulit. No?
Nice, pag ginaganon pa yung mic.
Okay, pre. Okay, eto na lang. If you were A7J, pre, if you were to answer my question, anong masasagot mo doon?
I really
ito na
feel
pala
like yun nga, no, like once they neutralize the
Yes,
isang guy.
hello?
Pero yun nga,
Okay.
mamaya na yun, nandito na si A7J.
Ating idol.
Mic test muna, pre. Can he
test.
get some words?
Ay, wala. Okay ba sa'yo in your end, Sneaky? Okay ba?
Okay
Ayun,
naman sa end niya. I can still barely hear him, pero let's see.
Pero kaya pa rin naman. Okay pre, so yun nga ikaw, Sneaky, kasi okay na yung tanong ko eh.
Ayun nga, I wanted to know yung feelings nyo, A7J, dun sa very last round dito ng Black Widow. What was running through your mind nung na-realize nyo na winnable pala to ang 2v4 or 2v5 na nangyari dito sa Black Widow, and by the time na natapos yung game, what was the feeling like dito sa bootcamp nyo, pare?
Hindi naman tayo na manalo kami ng para sa akin, mahirap na yan. 2v5. Iwalan talaga kami sa gagawin namin.
Pero full confidence pa rin sa kakampi mo, of course. Full confidence pa rin sa kakampi mo, boss A7J. And I love to see that. Congratulations sa
man.
pagkapanalo ng series up against itong napakagaling na opponent na MOTOMAC. And hopefully, we see you guys dominate more dito sa CFS/PH Masters. Alright, that's the interview. I think the man said
nice.
na masaya siya na nakakuha sila ng 2v5, and ayun nga, it was just full trust sa kanya mga teammates na kaya pa rin nilang gawin yun. And yeah, it's just amazing to see itong MattJess and their growth throughout yung years dito sa CFS/PH Masters, and the way that they improve year after year. It's nice to see, man. Yung such a young team, tapos magagawa nila yung mga ganitong moments.
Yeah man, yung tanong natin kanina na yung metacore ba na dati is ganun pa rin, lalo't environment nila heading into representing MattJess. Ganun pa rin talaga yun, no? The A7J Rels and Loy still intact, sobrang solid pa rin talaga. Pag tutumba yung isa, tulong pangat, and then they're now back in the winning column. My God, what a start it is for MattJess. And really looking forward, no, like the amount of trust for A7J to put Rels in a front line wherein he's going to be exposed, and him being cornered, the amount of trust as well for Rels para ibigay kay A7J na kaya niyang talunin yung 1v1 na yun was just a wholesome moment for the whole MattJess squad. And just like that, man, our series number 1 comes to a close. We head into series number 2. The rivalry anew from last year's fall qualifiers. Execration versus Gaon Gaming. My God. Oh my God.
Yeah, this has some beef behind it. Not gonna lie, I remember nung 2018 was when yung Gaon Gaming roster was still in MattJess. Coincidentally, I was hearing some smack being talked here from the side of Exe, and yun nga, it was a bit of beef simmering, no? Kaya may onting spice itong second na series natin. It's not just, yung clash ng dalawang great na orgs, it's also clash of the regions, pare.
Yeah, yun nga, no? Pero wala mo na nga alis, guys. You're still tuning into CFS/PH Masters 2024. When we go back, it's going to be Gaon Gaming versus Execration. Salvador Sticky Frog. We'll be right back after this.